So we're gonna be looking at the. Hey, Jake. Actually, I want to talk to you about something. Can I bring you on stage? Do a little bit of housekeeping right up here at the top. Hello, Jake. You invited. He's been invited up. Now we have to wait for Discord to do its thing. Matt Kasaurus. Evening where you're at. Morning where I'm at. Well, it's just crossed noon. It's time to start streaming. Hey, Jake, how's it going?
Am I in?
I have my audio turned all the way down. How about this?
Am I in now?
Yeah, sounds great. Hey, man, how you doing?
Looking through. I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good. So I've been uploading these daily mood boards of yours, along with the references on the days where I actually remember that I'm doing them. Have you seen anybody using them?
Are we getting close to running out?
Yeah, I got one more.
Okay, I can make more.
Have you seen people using them?
I've seen people use them in like their sketchbooks and some in dailies.
Okay.
Not as many as I hoped would, but I think we've got like a 75 to like 25 ratio of like illustrators to like designers, like concept artists.
Sure.
In the thing, just yeah.
All right. Well, I love that you've made these things, and I wanted to highlight them one more time. On the days where I upload reference, we've got a little mini mood board designed by Jake every single time, and so you can create. If you don't have an idea of what you want to draw, you can just use one of these instead. And man, if you want to keep doing them, you're welcome to keep making them, and I'm going to keep posting them because I think it's a great idea. My only concern was that I'm also not paying total attention to everyone's post, so I have a feeling you were probably more tuned into whether or not people were using your mood boards. So I wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah, whenever I see one, I would like comment and like say, "Cool, use the mood board." But it's usually because they are cool uses of the mood board, like something that I wouldn't have thought of. Like someone did an environment one time in their sketchbook. Just stuff that I like. People's brain work different, you know?
Yeah, everyone's going to take this in their own direction, which is sort of the whole point of it, is that it's a way more creative exercise than the photo reference stuff that I've been practicing, the majority. And I let you down a little bit by not doing one myself. So one of these days, it's just like doing everything live. My God, is it hard to, like, I realize, Tim's going to join us today. I realize, like from doing the few studies offline, then doing them online again, it's like it goes from like 90 minutes to like 2.5 hours difference. It's like adds a whole extra hour onto doing a study. Doing it live is what it feels like.
Yeah, I feel
that. So yeah,
thinking is hard.
Doing concept art is already, in my mind, way harder than doing photo studies. So the idea of like doing these live on stream is like scares me. So I've been avoiding it. But yeah, I definitely have to try one of these. I've noticed a lot of people are going back and using older photo references. Like they're using, instead of just following Today is the Day as like a thing that they're doing every single day and doing the same study as me, they're often scrolling back and finding ones they want to do. And so there have been a few of these guys. Like this guy I've seen show up over and over and over again in the studies, which I think is interesting. So
I think seen that is with the mood boards as well. Like I saw one of the turtle mood board, like the original one, a couple of days ago, I think.
Yeah. So if people aren't using them at like the day that they're on, it's fine. And so we're building this like nice. What I didn't realize what was happening here is we're building this really nice repertoire, like of reference material that's like slowly folding out. Like I have this bucket full of these things that I keep having to refill so I can like slowly measure it out day by day. But then, I saw Dustin doing this study the other day.
Yeah, I saw Dustin is doing it as well. He did like the classic sphere too.
Yeah.
Doing a good job.
Yeah, it's really cool seeing him jump in for the first time. So yeah, now I'm realizing that the Today is the Day board is becoming this decently organized kind of like string of reference material. And so as you're making these like batch by batch and I'm feeding them out day by day, we're creating this nice collection for people to kind of peruse and pick from. And now it's becoming this like market of reference material that people are able to go to. So I wasn't planning that, but like as we've continued to do this, I've been refining it a little bit at a time. I'm pretty stoked with how it is right now. I like the one figurative, one environmental piece, and then the mood board. To me, this feels like a really good balance of stuff. But is there anything you would tweak about it? I mean, you're somebody who's like really active on this board.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I could maybe make the moon board bigger, but like I kind of like how it's.
There's something about the fact that you've kept it kind of minimalist. It runs against my intuition as far as mood boards go, and like I'd like,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but I also kind of like it. Is like it makes it feel extra crunchy and challenging.
Because I do mood boards every time I'm like doing a concept, right? And they're much bigger. They have like maybe like 10 to 12 images.
Right.
And like it's mostly a reference, but then there's some like actual like concept art that I kind of want to steal the look of.
Right.
But it's a cool like 50-50 split this way.
So I noticed the other thing I want to talk to you about is like I noticed that this this week's weekly challenge, it was like you and Min were like daring each other to see how many times you could complete the weekly challenge this week. Like,
Yeah, it
was it daily or was it more than daily?
base game rivalry.
Like how many of them did you do this week?
I did 12.
You did 12 in 7 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wait, here's yours. This is a totally viable way of approaching it. It was all vases, huh?
Yeah, it's vase faces.
Vase faces. Okay. Vase faces.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, so you're just like so you did 12 of the prompt. You kept the scope down, which like I think allowed you to do so many of them. But again, you're somebody who works like a real ass job also, but like was also doing a ton of these.
Yeah, this is pre and post Arby's vase faces.
Wait. Post Arby's? Are you no longer an employee of Arby's?
No, like before I go to work. And
Oh, okay. So it's like you're like one before Arby's, and then this is the one after Arby's.
Yeah, I would do like 2 when I woke up, 2 before I go to bed. Yeah, the hardest part is like thinking about what it's gonna be.
Yeah,
But after that, I'm like,
it's
but I
yeah.
learned a lot.
I just kept seeing them pop up in like the Dailies channel over and over again, and I'm just like, how far is this going to go? Oh, which one? Okay, so you so I guess there's a bunch of stuff I want to talk with you about this week, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm here to talk.
All right, cool. So I just opened up and then sold out of the group mentorship thing this week. I was just about to ask you which one was your favorite, which one was your least favorite, and I remembered that like we'd done that a lot of times because.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you as well because I thought that was like a really constructive part of the mentorship.
Yeah.
Like figuring out flaws and where I excelled at, because like there's a lot of critiques where they don't do either or.
Well, like I discovered during my research that a lot of these kind of these online class sessions that you take, you get pre-recorded feedback, and I mean I had never even considered that, and so I got this habit. Oh, thank Burke Eds for the sub, and then Sergeant Ruff too earlier from when we were offline. I had never considered doing offline video feedback, but then after years of doing mentoring, like having done this with me, like, can you imagine just getting like video feedback? Like during the times where we met together, it was like, I feel like half the time you were talking, right?
Yeah, I'd say like 40. It was like a 40-60 split
Sure.
because you're a ranter.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but like not in a bad way. Like I learned so much. But yeah, it would be weird to receive. It would feel less like a conversation, more like you're getting a grade.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I got another thing to announce. We just hit our fucking sub goal just now. That was the sub goal. That was it. That was number 100 of 100. So, I mean, what are we going to do to celebrate that? We hit our subscriber thing, and now somebody needs to tell me what we're going to do to, like, celebrate the fact that we hit the subscriber goal. Do you have any ideas? I have no idea what to do. I don't know how to stream. Any suggestions are welcome. Yeah, hit me in the chat on Discord or on Twitch over here. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to bring it up because it's like I am tempted immediately to want to go like, okay, which is your favorite? Which one's your least favorite? It reminded me instantly of us sitting down and talk every week about your work. And I mean, I felt you made tremendous strides during our time working together. And yeah, I'm looking forward to working with more people. We're going to be doing in group sessions, so we're going to be doing like a lot of this. It's going to be like a 2.5 hour like marathon session with like a group of 5 people.
Oh, sweet.
But I'm kind of hoping that everyone's going to like get value out of the fact they get to see how what kind of feedback other people are getting, and also be able to like learn from each other inside a small group setting.
Yeah. Yeah, the pseudo class setting is always really good for artists, I think.
Yeah. So
like,
which is your favorite and which is your least favorite of your phases?
I don't know, man. I really like the second row all the way to the left. Little goblin man.
Goblin guy. I like this dude. I really like this guy because of the face shape. I feel like he has like a unique overall like face silhouette, and it to me it makes him stand out among like the whole collection.
Yeah, I completely agree.
There's something about like the really huge like eye sockets and how it like contrasts with the whole like long face that I think adds like a ton of interest. And so, like, to me, his personality ends up standing out more so than the other ones. And it's like, you know, all of them kind of have, like, their own unique personality. I also like this guy where, again, you figured out, like, certain features to accentuate that much bigger than the others to sort of, like, build a whole face and head shape. I feel like in both of those situations, they're, like, their own unique guys. But, like...
People can't see your cursor.
They can't see the cursor? Oh, okay. The blue guy,
yeah, I guess
the guy with the guy with the blue, over 3 down to the bottom. It's the blue guy with the gold leafing at the tips. And
then, yeah, the little smug fucker.
Yeah, he didn't look. Yeah, he looks kind of smug. He looks kind of haughty, like he's like some sort of like politician or academic.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the guy who's at the top on number 3, he's got like the curly beard and the horns and stuff. I like him because he's got this like forehead that slopes into the nose, and like the whole head shape kind of forms its own thing. I love that.
Yeah, man, I learned a lot doing these, especially about color. Like, Siri just yelled at me.
Don't say the name.
But yeah. Yeah, shit, you're right. But like thinking about like the undertones of skin,
yeah,
is something that I really hadn't before I did these, and it really helped. I think like bring them to life.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna look through all the dailies here. Tim told me he's lurking inside of the chat. I'm gonna bring him on stage and see if he can look at these with me. and we're gonna take a look at what everybody's entries were this week. We actually have 2 challenges to look at this week because we have both the like Breath of Life challenge that you were doing, and then I also uploaded one of Neil's line arts, and then I did a little bit of coloring on it, and some other people did some coloring on it too. So we're gonna look at both of those, and if Tim's game, I'm gonna pull him up here. Where I just need to remember how to use Discord. My brain is working at a little slower. Hey, Tim's on stage. Hey, Tim.
Yellow.
Hello, man. Wait, can I turn you up? I'm gonna try to turn you up a little bit. That way you don't need to fuck around with it. All right, how about now?
Hello.
All right, you're coming through pretty
sound?
good. How's it going, dude?
It's going excellent. How are you doing, Pete?
Doing really good. I've been back in the gym, man.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Hey.
I'm turning 40 in a month, so it's like the perfect time to like start getting in shape, I guess.
Yeah. No, actually, it was kind of nice. I lurked on the stream for a bit. I mean, Pete, you have some excellent submissions from these artists.
Oh, every week we've been getting like incredible submissions from people, and so we're gonna give out a couple of banana stickers today. I was wondering, do you want to give out a banana sticker to somebody in the community?
Banana sticker? You gotta inform me. What's the context?
The context is, you remember like the Gen Con awards? It's like one of the Gen Con awards.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You can showcase Tim's work so that.
Oh yeah, we should showcase Tim's work a little bit. Let me pull up.
Some random
you've been on the stream before, but I'm gonna pull up.
Pete just tolerates me.
Oh yeah. So Tim is the. I did VONNART.com and it broke.
I know it's VONNART.net. Don't remind me.
Oh. All right. Okay, so here we are. I don't have my avatar on today. I'm like flaking bad. Okay, so you are an artist. You do pencil. People come up to you at conventions and ask, "Hey, are you ever going to finish any of these?"
Yep.
You're working on a tarot deck too. You're keeping it really close to the Rider weight, but you're giving it like tons and tons of polish because you have this sort of maximalist sort of vibe to your work.
Oh, thank you, Pete.
You love glamour and maximalism, and you put that into your work and also into your convention booths. If I go to your conventions tab here, do you have any photos of you? There you are.
Yeah.
There's you and your boy and your giant gold booth. It's tough to miss. Good ass marketing.
Well, thank you. And hello, everyone. Hello, chat. How are you guys doing?
So, Tim, I saw...
How long have we known each other? It's like 10 years now, almost?
What's that? How long we know each other?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it's 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I came over to a party at your house, did like an art gathering thing, and then I basically refused to leave, you know?
Uh-huh.
And like a lot of people that come to your house, they just sort of, come in and out as they please.
It's great. We've had, I think, 18 roommates over the years, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah. And so during that time, you've built this whole brand for yourself of like pencil and gold leaf. You've done tons of prints, books, card decks, pins. You, at some point, decided to start doing Drawtober, which I was just never paying attention to for as long as we've known each other. I was always like, Tim's always talking about how busy he is with Drawtober, but like I don't do challenges, so I never looked in on it. This is my first year where I'm like, I'm going to see what Drawtober is.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of back-end work.
Do you want to like explain what you're doing for Drawtober, like what it involves and like how people get involved in stuff?
Oh, yeah, I can give a quick elevator pitch. So essentially, back in the day, me and my roommate Gawky at the time, we were doing a challenge called Drawloween. And it was basically you do a different prompt every day, and it was Halloween-based. It was really wonderful, but Key and I were never reshared on their page. So out of bitterness, I have to admit, we created our own the next year called Drawtober. And since then, we've made it very much like for artists by artists. And the whole idea is that we reshare as many artists as we possibly can on our main page that are really like standing out in terms of their execution or their creativity. And that was something that we felt Inktober was lacking a bit because they just kind of share a calendar with 31 prompts that are unrelated to like the fall season. And, the prompts are like dry or well or whatever it is, where we wanted our prompts to be very Halloween specific. And then over the years, we decided to kind of theme it around like one central idea back in, I think it was 2020 when we started doing that. And that has been like the biggest hit for the community of like theming all the prompts around a specific idea. So in 2020 it was Harvest Festival, the next year was Circus, last year was Witches, and now this year is Haunted House. And this one's a little tricky because it's obviously a focus on interiors and exteriors, but
I'm sure I'll find some way to not draw an interior the entire month.
Pete, it's the challenge. Isn't your whole Twitch thing about challenging yourself?
Yeah, which is like I'm going to do a challenge. I'm doing a challenge at all, which is way, way more than I'd ever done. Yeah. And so I was going to say, like, for the month of October, we're just going to do those. And I'll, like, instead of me coming up with weekly challenges, we're just going to do yours. And I'm looking at the Drawtober board. You guys, I've been seeing, like, people are just flooding into this channel. And so I have been posting over there a little bit, and you guys have a giveaway with Zents Labs. I had a thing with them last year, and I blew it off, and I probably totally burned my bridges with them. So I hope things go well for you, better for you. You'll probably be a better partner than I was.
Yeah.
I have a free Zents Lab tablet floating around my house somewhere. I need to like give to somebody who wants it. So maybe we'll do that as a giveaway one of these Fridays. We're going to be giving away a tablet later today also, just randomly doing a give. We've been doing weekly giveaways here on Fridays too.
Oh, so alongside the bananas, there's also a tablet in.
Yeah, there's a tablet up for grabs. The tablets are going to somebody randomly. Like we're going to do we have a giveaway channel, Friday giveaway channel, and Dustin is going to set up this one. Museri won it last week. They just got their tablet and got it set up. They were saving up for one anyway. Their parents are not super supportive of them as an artist. They're not getting them stuff. And so we managed to get them one, easy. And it was a great feel-good moment, and we're going to do that again. We're going to do that again today and hope that somebody else who's really looking for one of these things. If you really want one of these, keep an eye out for the giveaway. We'll have it done before the end of the episode.
Oh, Pete, that's awesome. This is great.
So I want to look at the challenge final thread with you and look at what everybody's been up to and maybe give away a banana sticker or two.
Hey, Pete, really quick, sorry to interrupt. Someone in the Discord chat is wondering if you could provide a link to the Drawtober Discord.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let me, Tim, do you want to actually drop that in the Discord chat?
I'll grab it.
I realize I can't see the Discord chat while also looking at the submissions. Oh, yeah. Fajodo's got it. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil.
Oh, damn. That was quick.
That's a link over to the Twitter. There's a Twitter, there's an Instagram, and then both of them have a link to the Discord on there.
There we go. All right, all posted.
Nice. Yeah, and so I'm going to try to do, I've been doing these, digital studies most days, most weekdays especially. And so I'm going to try to do the drawing challenges throughout October and focus on pencil. And then I also signed up for Justin Donaldson's gouache course for January. So January, I've got 8 weeks of gouache study coming up. So I've been doing these digital studies, I've been really enjoying it, and I've been making a lot of progress. But the way things are kind of panning out with me wanting to sample from different stuff that people are doing and kind of participate in the larger community more, I'm kind of lining myself up to doing more, experiment with more mediums also, and try to broaden my skill set, not just focus on one thing. So everybody who's doing this stuff at home, I will also be providing resources for people to sort of follow along and do the same kind of study I'm doing. And the Drawtober one's fucking easy because you're doing all the legwork on it. And all we need to do is just keep paying attention to the posts, and we're all up to date.
Yep.
So you got 5 people who are hosts. What is everybody doing on this thing? Is it just the prompts? And then highlighting, giving away?
It's kind of funny. We actually have a legit checklist for when things need to be done by when. So in August, we have to have a few things done by July. We have to have the prompts and the kind of theme all set. And then like, so this year, Josh is doing all the music. So any music that you hear on the teaser, the prompts, the whatever we do with it, that's all created by Josh.
Oh, awesome.
Dustin is doing all the prompt separators. So he's making animations for each of the prompt separators throughout October. I'm doing a lot of the back-end
different
work,
Dustin. That's Dustin Pisano.
Yes, Inkwell.
Inkwell. Yeah.
Yeah, Inkwell Illustrations. He's killing it right now.
But budding YouTube superstar.
Yeah, for real, actually.
For real.
And then Babs is doing, she did the teaser and is doing, I forgot what her other job was, but she's been great. She's been giving a lot of insight to like haunted houses and stuff for like reference for all of us.
And she's also hosting the meme corner.
Yeah, we gave her own little meme corner on the Discord server, which is great. And then Sang does the icons for everything.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a collaborative effort. It's pretty great. I mean, Pete, you're gonna see me do a big interior piece. Did you ever get those kid books where you could like tear away parts of the page and it would like reveal something underneath?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, like, okay, imagine there's a building, and imagine if you could like lift part of the building up and it would reveal the interior of that section.
I feel like I've seen a child's puzzle that works like that.
Essentially, that's what I'm going to try to do for my own prompts. So it's basically all 6 prompts in one illustration if I can do this right.
So you do one giant piece of paper with 6 smaller drawings inlaid into it to create one giant haunted house that's a series of tableaus?
Yep, so I'm doing a 13 by 19 drawing of a haunted house, haunted lighthouse, I should say. And then, yeah, I'm going to reveal the interiors as the weeks go on.
Oh my God. I'm going to try to do the bare minimum, but also make it look like I'm working hard. That was my plan. So,
isn't that what you put on your business card?
I haven't printed business cards in a long time. Long time.
That I also believe.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of love not going out. I'm going to be over at Lightbox this year, but like it's literally it. And like my conclusion from doing Lightbox this year was like, I should never do more than one of these a year. I need like
why was it your conclusion?
Because like I currently have like about way too many jobs. Like I have like 4 jobs at least. And like I have a Kickstarter coming out like on Monday. And I've like barely worked on it. I'm gonna have to like crunch the weekend to get it done. And I'm starting to like I was like manically working like the last month, and now I'm starting my energy level starting to like drain, and like my like bandwidth is like narrowing. And I'm like, God, I should really only work like 1, maybe 2 jobs. Like this whole balancing a bunch of different projects thing sucks ass. And like if I had cons on top of this, it would be total game over. I would have like some sort of serious breakdown. I've officially gotten too old for it or something. I don't know, but I think part of it is like now that I'm not doing cons, I'm actually able to like pull off more from my home game, and so I'm still just as busy as when I was on the road, except for now it all takes place inside a fallout shelter on the back of my house. Which
I feel like have you told me what this Kickstarter is about?
It's my second Oracle deck. It's not hugely fancy. It's being done through a publisher, so there's no way I can fuck it up. It's got a street date of January already. I'm just taking pre-orders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at some submissions. Like I know we could bullshit about what we have going on forever.
Yeah, no one wants to hear that. Let's look at people's art.
All right, let's look at people's art. This is Screen Z. I immediately like how like dimensional it feels, and like the added drop shadow I think really brings that out. You really don't need to do the the text with the gradient on it. I think it'll be all right without that.
Yeah, definitely.
Not to get into critique territory or anything, but yeah, I really appreciate that you're giving Neil the credit on the line art, but it's all right. But yeah, definitely gets a spooky boy for being first out of the gate on finishing the challenge. Dasha. I've been talking a lot about sort of spotlighting images to give it a little bit of extra painterly look. So I really appreciate that it's like not lit across the whole thing, but like the more focused lighting I think is cool. Cool idea.
So wait, really quick, you kind of just like go over.
Yeah, we're just making sure everyone gets
you don't
seen.
critique them.
Huh?
Like you don't give notes or feedback.
If it's a community member who I know, like, because we've been hanging out like on Discord or whatever, and I know that like beating them up is like maybe going to be nice, like I will give some crits, but like people aren't signing up necessarily for crits. So if there's something that's like super informative, yeah. But if mostly we're just looking at things that we like about the pieces.
Gotcha.
If anybody wants to talk about what they are, what they've done this week, feel free to raise, and you're here in the Discord, feel free to raise your hand and you can come on stage and talk about your work. You know, the main point of like the communities is like as a spotlight, and to celebrate like the work that's being done on the Discord. So, you know, feel free to come and raise your hand and get up on here. I can't see who's raising their hand because I have to look at a different channel. But if you raise your hand, maybe Dustin or Jake, somebody can like bring you up. Now I got to figure out where the challenges are. I love that I hadn't thought about food being a potential option for this challenge, but I think about food all the time. Like, and so doing a food-based character is like, I think, a really good interpretation of this one. Yeah, food is cool. This is like I think about it. I've gone to go get fancy donuts with Dustin, so I know he has a certain relationship with desserts. So this feels like a gift to Dustin here.
I love when people use candy as their inspiration for character design.
Yeah, so this week Jake and Min were like kind of racing each other to see who could complete this challenge the most number of times.
Oh.
Jake I think he managed to win by doing this weekly challenge 12 times this week.
Were those the head busts? Those were amazing.
Yeah, the busts that he was doing, the vase faces, the vase vases.
Vase vases.
Yeah. Min also does like a crazy number of character designs. I love how this came out. One of the things I really like about this is how close it is to the original. Like the lion or ornaments on the sides turning into the pauldrons, and like the little the lid basically going one for one into the hat. Like there's something about sticking close to a reference that is like not human shaped and turning it into a person that to me feels like a huge win creatively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree.
Candle. Interesting. Last week I kind of busted everybody's balls because I was like fairy tale with a twist, and the twist for like 80% of the entries was it's a fairy tale but they have a gun.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, I feel like everyone's got the same twist here. But now this time out, like I was imagining like vases is like something that I think I had seen reference of, and I had like made a reference to it in the prompt. But then like the food and then the candle both are like totally defying my expectation here. So it's cool. See people taking this in their own direction. Well, it's not another vase. Rimaville's fucking roasting people over here. T-Kun. Oh, man. I like the style in this one.
Ooh.
But I like how
it almost looks as if you rendered it.
Yeah, a little bit. I like how the chain of the necklace is being used for narrative building on the character. There's like a narrative aspect to it that's coming out as a result of like using the materials. Very cool.
Yeah, that was great.
It's not a vase, it's a cup. But yeah, this is a really great use of like the colors and materials, but this is also a really cool character design. You can see just like the intense amount of like effort that went into this design.
Oh, ooh.
People are even trying to show it off. They got their close-up. People are making sure that they get their work seen in the best light here. If it's going to be on stream, You know, the bone zone emote just like kept coming up over and over again. Whoever is introducing the bone zone emote into the mix, like I want to maybe give them a little appreciation if anyone wants to take credit for it. This one's like double. Is this a double entry? Oh, I like this one. I like this one more. They're both from Sukmina. Originally, we were talking about like, what if it were like automatons? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, not everyone wants to draw a robot or whatever. Like, let's broaden it a bit. And so this one feels like, hey, what if this was the prompt was being done sort of for the original idea? But then this is why I wanted to broaden it, because I feel like this character is so much more interesting, like in terms of their design and theme. And like, I immediately like this character. I feel like this could even get taken further just because of like how charming the general idea is. Like a explorer that also looks like an old-timey globe is such a fun concept.
Oh man, yeah. I'm a little delayed because I'm watching it on Twitch, but I definitely like the second one better as well. There's a lot of personality in that second design.
She captured like such a fun like VizDev style in that second one.
Well, I think it's also kind of proof that you don't need to like make it all about the rendering to really sell like the concept of a character. But I like the idea that like if you were to have seen this character without the reference, and you were to see like them sort of, you know, running along with the little stick legs sticking out of like the giant jacket and stuff and the straps around it, that if this were like in a movie, you would get it. Like you would get the idea this like sells the whole character. Like it does like a ton of storytelling with just the character design without having to build a lot of like world building around it, which is one of my favorite things. That's cute. More coffee, please. Says, guys, how do I get to do this challenge? I don't see it in the Discord. Oh, sometimes you need to go to like the browse channels button, and like it'll prevent it. Like Discord likes to get clever and say like, oh, you don't need to see the weekly challenge section. Oh, Screenzat's being generous and linking over there. Nice. the cat blush emote also. Definitely carrying a lot of like weight around here. Fancy old lamp. I want to own more stuff like this in my house. Things that look like they should be cleaned with a feather duster, and then turn into like a cool automaton guy. Good job, Mike Hung. This is sleek and smart. Which one were you? Diego? Yeah. Get the Jake
it's just
Pod
like,
nod.
Just a good one.
It's a good one. Cult classic. Oh, like it's like it feels. I'm having a little bit of a hard time understanding. I like the sketch here where it's like in motion. It feels like a little squid made out of crystal. Oh, Jackalak going with the calling this done. We got the Vase Clan is going hard. Again, this one came out. This one came out so awesome. I mean, Jackalak is like been doing like daily designs for like was it like 1900 days? So
oh my gosh,
it comes as kind of like no surprise that they're like, you know, able to slap together this like incredibly elaborate design real quick for a challenge.
Yeah.
But I really like the diversity of materials. Like the fluffy hair thing is, to me, feels like an awesome addition that really helps like build this thing up. And then like the little bit of rendering on the armor feels like it just like it captures that kind of like polished ceramic in just like the perfect way without a lot of like fussing about it.
I feel like in the best way possible, it almost looks like a chibi render of an Elden Ring boss.
it definitely does have like Elden Ring vibes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's got like kind of a big head and kind of a short legs.
Well, like some of this like organic armor design integration.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like that's the thing is you can't have everyone be like giant, broad-shouldered, narrow-waisted characters. Like if you mix this guy in with other styles of characters, I mean, you see this guy and he's taking up like the whole doorway. He's just like rectangular. I don't know. Bloodborne? Nah. This definitely feels more Elden Ring than the other FromSoft games to me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Peanut butter and jelly. Going for the romantic angle, and they've got banana dogs. That's good. I mean, and this looks like it's done in 3D too. So putting together a 3D submission for a weekly is a very bold choice.
Oh, I love that her belt is the GIF colors.
Yeah, and then like the tartan pattern from the Smuckers is his shirt.
Uh-huh.
I feel like
actually the GIF cap is her headband then.
Yeah. I feel like it's like one of those things where like if you were to see this in something else, I don't know if you would immediately get the reference, but I think like subconsciously it would like make you think about peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
Yeah.
Acorn Knight, love the concept. I having like a tough guy have like a not so tough theme. I always think it's like a fun idea.
Cute.
And somebody, okay. So where's the bony? He needs a bony boy on him. I feel like it's the appropriate theme. Yeah, good job, Little Planet or Little Plant. Shaddy's got, what am I looking at? This, oh, it's like a prop from another game thing. It's like a prop from Dishonored 2. I cannot figure out what anything in the Dishonored series is supposed to look like. So I'm having a little trouble with this one, but thanks so much for submitting anyway. I mean, you're gonna get a flame reaction from me and a bony boy. Oh, paint tube. Realm Ethereal. It's got the cerulean blue debut.
This is tragic.
It is tragic. This is what you live for, though.
The tragedy of it all?
Yeah, tragedy on stage. Absolutely.
The drama.
The drama. Ithune. What am I looking at? Oh, I see. This is one of those incense burners.
Oh.
It's one of those incense cones. Oh. I was just playing Blasphemous 2, and I feel like this is kind of like a fit for that. Like the figure of like almost like a burning widow, or like a princess, or the veil. I mean, the veil makes me think of like somebody who's in mourning or whatever. I dig the theme of this one a lot. This one demands a bony boy. One bone zone. Oh shit! Jack-o'-lantern coming in with the same vase. What this is cruel. Jack-o'-lantern is like flexing on Min, doing the same vase as Min, try to outdo Min with their own reference. That's brutal. This automaton guy though is so cool. The weird backwards elbow joint thing is really fucking cool.
Wow.
Oh, hey there.
Hey.
By the way, I just popping in and say though, like Jack-Lack is absolutely like a crack, bro. I actually like make an edit, so I put my character next to him though, like below. If you go down to the bottom. Also, the base actually belongs to like someone, like I think it's Willis that posted the base, right? So it wasn't like mine, but like man, that's cool.
Do you think it's like kind of like like your character is piloting his character?
What? I don't know. I thought they look cool, so I have to make like that lineup right there, so that you can see it in comparison.
At first, I thought I was like, oh, he's like flexing on you, and now I'm like thinking like, oh, maybe it's like a team. This is a team up.
Yeah, that would be it though.
You guys, okay? So one of you needs to make like one of the. Well, you probably need to make like a cute little extra pet to go with it to complete the trio.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have to do that though. It could look like a Warhammer or like fantasy unit.
Yeah,
I swear, it looks so cool though. Like it comes out like that.
yeah, man. These two together, you're right. Like it was. This is cool to see.
Mm-hmm. I have to like knock up the background a little bit since like his background's a bit like way too like over contrasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, as long as like I get the real like his full file. This is just a preview file though.
Okay, so you're coordinating to try to make sure that you get to make like a really good layout to match them together.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
cool.
not just a fast edit, just a fast edit. All right, fair enough. Back to my stage.
Oh, thanks for showing up, Min. This is really cool. Yeah, there's been like Min and Jack are both like on the Discord all the time, and so like to see community members like teaming up to like Voltron style snap together on weekly challenges is like a new thing. And if this becomes like the precedent that like community members like team up to attack like a single prompt from multiple angles to make like a group submission, that'd be really fucking cool. I mean, you might be setting like, at first I thought this was a flex of like, no, I could do it better. But now I'm seeing this as like potentially the beginning of like more collaboration on the server. So if any of you out there want to like highlight your contribution even more, if you do group, hey, Knows It Die is rating us right now with a party of 18. Very cool. Hello, welcome.
Actually, really quick, on that one that you were just showing too, I really love the kneecaps being the line, because when he bends his legs, then the mouth will open.
Oh yeah.
It's like a really fun little, smart, clever idea.
Yeah, I like that like the head of the lion is on the chest and that the actual head is like teeny tiny with just the little eye slits. There's a lot here that feels like, you know, it's pulling from a bunch of different references, and there's a lot of considerations to how this thing would come together. That's really, really fucking cool. And then, yeah, it does really match super well with Min's design to make this like cool. Like, I mean, maybe they're part of the same squad. Maybe she's like the mecha pilot. But like, I was just talking last night about how like fantasy style mechs, there's like kind of not enough of them. That it's this like open opportunity that like very few people seem to have taken advantage of, and then here we are like checking out like a great example of it. Hello, Breaking Lurk. Good work, everyone, from Nolan 192. This is a cool idea. I think this is like what, like a for all the other ones we have like a reference that's going with it. So I'm like interpreting this as being like the inanimate object is like the ocean is now like coming to like destroy San Francisco or New York, and it's dredged up the Titanic to come deliver it back to humanity.
It kind of feels like an oil spill spirit.
Oh, oil spill spirit. That's a cool idea. It's a really bold concept.
It's got that kaiju, like a monster from like Pacific Rim, but they're using the Titanic. It's like the weapon.
Yeah. I like the grip on it, the way that it's like he's putting his hand through the hole and then like tightening down. It's very cool. Titanic sword, yeah.
Oh, I saw Scream was doing this in the VC yesterday.
Oh, this is really nice. Sunflower guy.
Yeah. He was like struggling with the hand and like the shovel. Like he pulled it through though.
A great job, Screen. You got like a double submission this week. Banged out one. Oh wait, no, you did. So you did the jazz coloring, and then you went and finished the weekly challenge in the same week. Nice job. Rimmaville with the teacup dancer. This is cool. This feels to me like reminds me of Liza P is just coming out. Everyone's hot on that. I think this sort of the idea of a porcelain like automaton dancer fits in with that idea in an interesting way. It's got a kind of a creepy but also kind of a cool, elegant vibe.
Agreed. Are you gonna be playing Liza P?
I'm not gonna be playing Liza P. I played the demo and I didn't connect with it. Are you gonna be playing it?
I'm gonna watch Josh play it.
You're like, that main guy, the guy who looks like Timothée Chalamet. I'm only gonna be able to avoid so much of it.
No, I'm here for it. This is lovely.
Milan is saying maybe there was maybe a missed opportunity here. What if the saucer was the tutu for the dancer? I wonder if that was like the original idea and it got edited out at one point. It feels like the teacup with the flaring saucer, it like does kind of remind me of that. That's an interesting idea. So this original thing is like it's like what, like a lamp that looks like it's dripping like hot glass?
It's like molten glass.
Yeah. Molten glass is a really interesting material. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do a design that's based off of molten glass before. It's really creative use of reference. But you also like... What were we saying?
Oh, I'm just saying that, no, indeed, I actually agree with it. No, this is actually the coolest use of color, the contrast of like, hues, right? Like the blue, the yellow, and then the orange.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then Jake, we talked about his stuff a bunch. I really like this. I really like a few of these. It's like one of the things we did a lot during every one of my mentorships. What we do a lot of is instead of taking like one swing at an idea, we always take like 5 to 7 swings at it, and then it's not just a matter of like, hey, I'm really good at concept art. Look at how I can do this one good idea. It's like, let's just make a shitload of these and then see which ones we like once they're down the page and like edit around the whole collection to make it ourselves look smarter. And like the strategy of just like going big with like tons and tons of designs and then adding it down just to the best ones has been really productive for basically everyone I've worked with. Not only because like, hey, you're just showing the wins and kind of tucking away your losses, but also like you just feel open to just try things, because like accepting that some of them are going to be better than others allows you to take bigger swings more comfortably. Because when you're always trying to feel like every single piece needs to be like the piece, you're going to work a little bit defensively and you're not going to try out your wildest ideas and you're not going to experiment as much with like what you think you can do. And so this like approach of sort of working with like a lot of designs and taking a lot of swings at it is something I always advise people to do when they're trying to learn and grow, because it lets you figure out what you want, you know? Like we presume we already know what we want, but like we really don't most of the time. And it's like one of the things I've enjoyed about doing dailies is like I can just accept that some of them are going to be good and some are going to be bad. But like as I take experiments on stuff with my process and like experiment with my style and the order I do things and the tools that I'm using, like if they turn out bad, like who fucking cares? I'm just going to do another one tomorrow. Like be able to start and finish something in a day is a great way of like, I think, building up your like library as a designer, but also about like learning about yourself process wise. Like if you're trying to figure out how you like to paint, how you like to draw, what order you like to do things, how you problem solve, like this like the quantity over quality approach is like, I think, the most productive way to work. It's going to be part of my upcoming course that I'm working on is like this, you know, I'm making an organized course to try to like show people the kind of process that we do in these like smaller mentorships. I had no idea how there was not a bone zone on this one.
Oh, Pete?
Yeah.
Are we doing another XP pen? I'll create the...
Yes, we're going to be giving away an XP pen, a Deco Fun Large. It's really similar to the tablet I have. It's it's a pen tablet, doesn't have a screen on it. It's a good medium size, easy to use with a laptop. I use it on my desktop setup. It's my primary tablet I use for painting. is really similar to the one we're giving away. And if you want to submit to it, Dustin's going to be adding the thing on the giveaway right now, right? It's in the text chat. I can't even. This is why I'm trying to keep our number of channels down to a minimum. Here we go. Friday giveaways on the text channels. So just keep an eye on this one. We'll link over to it in a second once it's up. And yeah, that's just gonna be free to enter and free to win. So like, if you want one, just go ahead and like hit the emote once the thing goes live. Milan says her favorite Jake pieces are 1, 5, and 6. 1, 5, and 6, I think. But yeah, like spending time talking about which ones are our favorites and least favorites out of like a large collection is always like a big part of the conversation when it comes to mentorship. Brass acoustics theme from Arenas Arts. I really like the reference selection here.
Okay, it's up and running.
All right, so if you want to enter, just go ahead and hit the emote on the Friday giveaway, the little party popper. It's going to end in 50 minutes. We're going to be done looking at the stuff on the Discord sooner than that, and I'm going to switch over to working on a study. If you want to join the giveaway, we just gave a link in the chat, and then if you're already on the Discord, go ahead and find the Friday giveaway text channel, and just hit the party popper. We've already got a handful of entries here. Someone's going to win one of these things. It's free. I'll mail you one. Or buy it on Amazon and have it shipped to your house. It'll show up in a few days. All right. It's me, Spider-Man. Oh, it's a lantern that's actually a spider. This is an interesting idea. I feel like this is definitely the sort of thing I could see showing up in like a platformer.
Oh yeah.
You don't have rewards on Twitch for hydrate, so reminder to hydrate, mates. All right, everyone, feel free to hydrate and stretch. Min coming in with 2 more designs because Jake was making him feel bad.
Oh, this is actually my first test design right here. These are the first ones before the base. All the reference from Willis. So. Yeah.
I remember seeing you working on this on stream, and I was wondering, and I kept seeing stuff. I was like, how many is he going to do? How many did you do this week?
Just 3. Right now I got like classwork and I got a project, so I'm just gonna settle with 3.
Just 3.
Just 3. Hey, at least they're full body.
Yeah, they came out great.
Wow, the first one for me, I don't know why it reads this way, but it almost looks like a powerful sorceress who like people captured her in this helmet. Almost looks like this binding where it almost looks like handcuffs on her hands and legs, and I really love that idea. Like that's how you would bind a sorcerer, like a magical being that needs to be like under control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Like if you like, it's like how do you? There's the whole thing with the magical handcuffs or whatever. You have like somebody who's being like put in magic prison, and this is definitely way more interesting than the average like approach to that idea.
Yeah, so if you notice at the base, right, they have like those kind of handles that goes from like the top that goes all the way down to the bottom. So it encapsulates like the whole like form of the vase, and I thought that would be cool to test it out. So I tested out the first one on the below, and didn't come out right. And I'm just gonna stick with the symmetrical and see how that goes. And it turns out all right though.
Symmetrical
but this is like
design
the
is
idea
usually,
that I'm gonna keep it.
Like symmetrical design is usually like when you're just doing a symmetrical drawing, it's always a little weaker than something that's more dynamic. But in this case, because the concept is potentially like that she's being restrained, like the symmetrical design is potentially like actually working in your favor. I don't know. It's an interesting enough concept where if you wanted to take the idea of a sort of magical prison further, it feels like a really good starting point.
Yes.
And then we were looking at this one. This is so cool to see. If this is the first team up of many, that would make me very, very happy. And that's where we're going to end it today. So we've got 2 banana stickers to give out. Tim, since you're our special guest today, who do you want to give a banana sticker to?
Okay. Let me look through all on my own tab really quick. Let's see here.
Okay.
Do you kind of already have one in mind for yourself?
I need to look through and make sure that the one I'm thinking of doesn't already have a banana sticker on it. That's the problem. Like, I need to make sure people who have already won before, you can see, have a banana sticker next to their name that says "Good at Art." Like, you can see Caliber here already has one. And so you got to pick somebody who doesn't have a banana sticker.
Okay.
I got to think of. I got one in mind, and I've got to think of a backup one in case it doesn't. In case you pick the same person.
I would say that changes because I think I was gonna pick Jack Black. So let me look through these again.
Jack Black's already got one. Jack Black already won. I gave Jack Black banana sticker last week for being like a super productive community member, or somebody who's given a lot of, done a lot around a lot of channels on here, and is like constantly posting really great work. And then they also had a good entry last week.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I got mine.
Who?
Okay, I'm going to pick... Well, I don't know if they count because they're also one of the ones on the stage here, but I'm picking Jake.
You're picking Jake? No, Jake has absolutely earned bananas. It's been I think a running thing of like, why doesn't Jake have a banana sticker yet? So, Jake, congratulations, man! You finally earned it. You got cheated last week. I
wouldn't say you did.
No, yeah, it was kind of teetering between a couple of people, and it teetered away from Jake, and so he's not going to end up like one of those actors that gets nominated over and over again but never wins. He's got to get a banana sticker one of these weeks. So I'm glad he's getting it today.
Well-earned banana.
Yeah.
Now he's part of the calcium gang.
Calcium gang.
No,
yeah.
the potassium gang. My bad. My mouth. Yeah, sorry about that. The
thematically, I actually really like Ithune's submission this week. There's something about like the gothy, like this is one of those things that sort of like feels like it flies under the radar. Like if you were to see this in a game or like a movie or something, you would never exactly associate it with what it's of. But this is the sort of kind of like simple iconic thing that getting blown out into a character design actually feels like it makes for like a really interesting, inventive character. That has like a really strong presence to it. And so I'm giving my banana sticker to Ithune this week. So congratulations, Ithune.
Congrats.
I love the idea of a wispy veil, like a very ethereal, like ghostly veil.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
The wispy
Indeed.
veil, and then also like the herbs or the flowers that are, reminiscent of the smell of the...
Oh.
Yeah. This
nice.
one's I say a slow burn. It's like very subtle little design notes that all kind of accumulate into a design that feels like actually really smart and well considered. So congratulations, Dune. So that's our banana stickers for today. I was back in the day. I was trying to like look through all of like the dailies the entire week's dailies. But like the dailies channel gets like so much activity that like making sure everyone gets seen on here on like the community streams is like fucking impossible. Like there's so many really great studies happening all the time on the server. I think the dailies channel is like our most active channel. And so if you want to like get seen by other people on this Discord, I think one of the best ways to do it is to just make sure that you keep posting studies all the time in the dailies channel, because everyone's going there to like post their own stuff and look to see what everybody else is up to. I'm in here every single day that I'm doing it, which is most days, and like we are seeing a lot of repeat use from community members who are just doing their own regular studies. Some of them are doing photo studies or warm-ups, while others are doing like Min's constantly doing new character designs and posting them in here. And so it's like it's being used in different ways for different people with different goals. But I mean, that's kind of like the nature of like us learning, is that we're actually all not on the same path doing the exact same thing, but this sort of like common goal of just wanting to be better at art and doing it with other people. Even Anya's getting in on the game. She's been like experimenting with more materials and techniques and doing studies for one of the first times I've known her. And it's like, and it's been really cool. It's been really fun thing to participate in. So if you want to participate in the server at large, I mean, the two best ways to do it, either hang out on the voice chat, because we have voice chat going most of the time, most days. Somebody's in there. We've got a lot of regulars that just sort of basically live on voice chat. So you can come in and say hi and meet the community in person. But then the other way to do it is to just like pop in and like post your own studies, and you can do it as like, you know, your own character designs that you want to like experiment with if you want to do a lot of grow on character design work, or you can go and grab references from the Today is the Day channel and follow along with the daily studies. I've got this one prepped up on my board today, so I'm going to be doing a study of this one really quick before I log out. I'm going to pivot over to that in just a second. Anyone here on stage is welcome to hang out and chit chat a little bit, unless we got some other business we need to go over. Dustin, am I missing anything?
Not missing anything that I know of. I know last time when Sean had to go, I'm not sure, because it can be a little bit awkward, Tim, if you need to go.
Oh yeah, you don't need to stick around unless you want to just hang out. Like, you're welcome to hang out.
I'm
or
curious, what is this daily study? Are you doing the female in profile?
Yeah. Let me just move it over to my main screen here.
I feel like I might join you. Maybe not live on the screen, but I'll draw alongside you today.
If you want to draw alongside me, you can do it. And heck, we got to figure out one of these days. I haven't done it yet. I keep kind of trying to talk to people about doing collab streams, where like maybe we have use the guest star feature on Twitch or something like that. So we have two artists hanging out, chatting, both working, and you can sort of see both of their streams through the different tools. Artistic nudity is fine according to Discord rules. Worst case, they can throw it in a spoiler on Discord and attach a trigger / not safe for work tag warning. Yeah, that's true. There's no policy from Huckleberry about artistic nudity. There's nothing. We're not doing any kind of adult NSFW content on the server, but there is sometimes nudes in like studies, especially art studies, like working if you're doing classical art studies. I've talked to Twitch about. I've gotten my contact at Twitch to talk to their trust and safety team because they don't have a policy for it. The policy is that if you're playing a video game, like if you're playing The Witcher and in the process of playing The Witcher, somebody becomes naked, and as long as you're not like turning it into like a lewd experience, it's like fine, because sometimes nudity happens in video games. I'm like, you guys should make a policy. If you're going to have artists on here, you should have a policy about like whether or not artistic nudity is allowed, because they have they're like pointing to a policy. They're like, here's the policy. They're like, we don't allow real nudity. And I'm like, does that mean yes or no? And they said, well, I think it's in the policy. I'm like, okay, well, no, it's not. Like they didn't write one yet, so they might actually write one for Twitch, thanks to us, that either enables or disables the right to broadcast nude figures for artistic study on twitch.tv.com. We'll find out. Let's see. And now I can get the chat, be able to see the chat on here. Wow, people who live on VC, me and Min, says Subu. Yeah, it's like it's like good. The people who live on the VC here on the server are all like good at art, which is the fun part. There's like always people who are like doing interesting projects, who are making cool stuff, who are just hanging out here on Huckleberry. And like I think that's been like a kind of highlight of the server is that it's actually if you want to go to a server where people are both being chill and also like making cool stuff, like this is becoming kind of the place for it.
Also, there's activity for the server too. Like, people would likely to join like a server if they see like people in VC active.
Yeah.
Like, you ever seen English server, right? That server is like for people who study like English language, and it's always VC like 24/7. It's like 200 people or 300 like always in that. So that's how it's just like always growing.
Ah.
Yeah, just like living in the VC life.
I love
Stevie
active
as well.
VCs.
Stevie's there always to like give people like technical arts like advice and like tips and stuff. I would love to do so, but my forte is more about design and color theory. So it's sort of like less than what Stevie would do. So
Stevie's always
sometimes,
doing like impromptu lectures on kind of like technical art
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I forgot, like, that makes him sound much like a professor. He's just professing.
Yeah, Professor
It's always
Stevie.
interesting. Yeah. Professing. That's what the thing there.
Professing.
Yeah, like,
Teaching.
that's what professors do. They profess
Higher
knowledge.
truths. Knowledge.
The higher truth.
Yeah.
Knowledge. Yeah.
Up here in the
Wisdom.
Hollywood Hills, Stevie's always
Mm-hmm.
getting the knowledge.
Indeed. I just love it, like, when he talk about perspective, it becomes like a trance.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like
there's so much
multi-hour.
things, like, yeah. And then there's color theory too that I've been like doing for my school project lately. So I wish I could do more of those studies, man. They got other stuff to study. That's something too. It's like Pete, have you ever like studied color theory before?
I took a color theory class in college, so I know what the Munsell system
Mhm.
is, and I know I don't give a fuck about
Okay,
Munsell.
yeah, okay.
Like, I know the broad strokes of color theory, but I'm sure that there's probably some academic learning on color theory that I wouldn't be able to like recite if somebody were to ask me. Like, what's the
Gotcha.
like? Are you taking a color theory class right now?
I'm taking a color theory class for graphic design, so we're taking it in a more engineering way. So the colors that we work with are mainly printer colors. So how do we translate digital colors into real life color? So for like printers and stuff. I guess like I want to like actually major in like doing brand design and doing character design sort of like to be my separate thing because that way I can like major two things at a time. So in this class, so yeah, we go over to through Munsell, right, and then like Itens. Itens would be using a lot more since Munsell is more like theoretical for that class. Yeah, so it takes things that are more mathematical, like kind of engineering way of like how can we make this design has this insinuating of distance and and of course like feelings, so that like how can we engage the people, the users, look into these UIs of these products, these like brands, the way they are. Like, so how you see like Pepsi like logo, so why do you have like the blue, red, and white, right? That's like basically American color.
Yeah, well,
So,
for people who have never taken a college color theory class, the Munsell system, it's like there's like three.
I can post it.
You can post it. So the basic idea is that there's like three numbers that describe every single color. It's like its hue, its value, and its saturation. And you like part of the Munsell system learning it is that you sort of like learn to be able to kind of spot a color and be able to say like, oh, it's this. These are the numbers that I think it is, or this saturation number on this one is higher than this one. So it's like partially a system for kind of cataloging and naming colors, but then also like it's like you can do math on it to say like, okay, well these colors go together because their mathematical values for their hue, their saturation, and their values add up in this way, and therefore it's like a balanced color palette, not just because they're like, the kinds of ways that you balance a color palette with like, like the complement complementary, or what are the opposite of complementary is, the analogous colors, that like it actually you can actually say, well, if this is the two colors we have, what's the third color going to be that's going to balance it out? And you can do a math equation on the numbers and come back with a number value that you can then use to look up on the Munsell system to tell you like what number is going to be a good fit. Which is like fine. I mean, it proves the theory in a really interesting way, but I personally don't use stuff like that in my day-to-day because I feel like what you need to be able to do as a designer or illustrator is to be able to sort of intuitively recognize color.
Yeah.
And so Munsell is like a way of creating a very academic systematized, like let's just call it what it is, autistic version of color. And then like, an artist is going to be like looking at those values in like a much more intuitive way, which when you break them down, they may or may not fit with the Munsell system. But I mean, I kind of don't care if they do or not, if it feels good to look at. But like, even if it feels generally good, like the Munsell system kind of argues that like maybe it could be a little better if you ran the numbers on it and you tuned it.
Right.
For graphic design, especially with like brands and stuff, the colors they pick out are so intentional. Like these minor different shifts in hand tones can be like really important. And so you're like, oh, well, we're defining the Pantones for our brand as these, and they think a lot about like what it means in a very mathematical, very scientific, analytical way, because they're committing millions of dollars in a lot of cases to very specific color combinations and swatches, and they're going to be doing a lot with it. And so they want to make sure that they are not just going by vibes, that they have something more concrete to be able to draw from when it comes to identifying like why color palettes work. And so I think that's one of the things that's been so persistent about Munsell, is it when you are dealing with like really high stakes color choices, like it's important that you understand why it works beyond just like a guy who said he has good taste told me he thinks it's a good idea.
Oh, Pete.
Yeah.
Exothermic Goblin was asking what are your thoughts on the HCL model?
The HCL model. What is the HCL model? Did I not know that abbreviation, or maybe I don't know the model? I mean, you're the one in color theory class with HCL.
We haven't launched that just yet, though. Right now, we're actually more focused on doing Eden's color. The Munsell we just talked about, it's kind of like how in psychology we talk about Carl Jung and then just sideline them. That's it. Yeah. So what she says somewhat like realistically in our class that we don't look into the numbers, like honestly in realistic matter while we're like drafting out the work. Like as artists and as designers, we should be like intuitively like recognize the color, like contrast and complement extension, that all that stuff. The number is basically like what after the design are somewhat like complete. It's sort of like this is when the time you can assign the numbers in it, mainly for the logistic purpose. So we're like talking about mass producing like the work, right? These like numbers and maths, right, is sort of like at the end of the production. So you assign those numbers in after like everyone's all agree on the same page that this design's are like the peak right here. So the site is workqx.com. It's basically like my instructor like giving out to us. Basically, it's like a cheat sheet for like reminding ourselves that these exist, so we can like just look it up just to remind ourselves that these contrasts are using like Eden's color theory most of the time, and my earlier 2D like design we're also using this like plenty of time though. Munsell we just brought in because knowing that it exists on 3D dimensional is actually pretty cool. But we're not like practicing it per se, since like it's slow as hell because like determining the numbers and like doing math. Right?
Yeah, no one goes to art school to learn math, right?
Indeed.
But one of the things
if you're actually a mathematician and you're an artist, you would likely to join NASA as like an engineer there. doing origami and stuff.
It doesn't really read here, but one of the things that's really interesting that's important to know about color when you're studying it is that colors have different gamuts, and like understanding how color gamuts work, where you can see how like the blue-green is like really short. It's only got like 4 layers in, while the yellow goes like way out, and the yellow-red goes way out. That like different colors have different kind of depths that they can achieve. That there's just not lighter or darker versions of certain colors, that the amount of like value and saturation range that you can get out of different colors is different based off of their hue. And so as you move around the color wheel, even though Photoshop shows that like, oh, the color wheel, it just moves around here, and then there's this triangle that fits in the same each way, that as you move around here, that the space that actually fills this triangle is actually warping quite a lot. That our perception of some of these colors is a lot more limited than others. Ooh, what do we got going on here? Raid from FX Sculptor. Again, one of our most prolific raiders. Welcome back. Thanks for continuing to raid me over and over again. This is wonderful.
Ooh.
Hey.
Raiders here.
The timing, I'm guessing, I always feel like downplaying myself a little bit. So like I'm guessing that you keep raiding me because you just happen to always end your stream at around the same time as I'm deep in the middle of mine. And I really appreciate that you keep choosing my my channel, come raid. Yeah, like the RGB spectrum. Yeah, like the gamut, understanding the gamut is like really important, because like you realize that as you're like choosing colors and painting, that you like you don't get to choose every color. Every color does not exist sort of equally on the spectrum. They all kind of maintain like their own discrete space, and that they don't all behave the same way. And so this is one of the reasons why I really like using something like hard light when I'm adding color, is because it like lets the color kind of bring in its own qualities into the mix, rather than relying on rather than being like really strictly attached to the values. Like if we were to take this black and white photo and try to convert it over into color, like a lot of there's actually, when you take a color photo and turn it to black and white, there's a bunch of different ways to do it in Photoshop, and they all actually result in slightly different values, because there's not a pure way to translate color into value. Like color into black and white is actually a fairly relative process, because the value spaces of colors are all a little different from each other. And so when you try to compress them down back into the same space, you end up having to sort of round things off in all sorts of arbitrary ways. And the reverse happens, where if you were to just take like a color layer, this is a thing I watch beginners do all the time in Photoshop, drives me absolutely crazy. Never do this. As a blending mode to try to add, whoop, I'm in the wrong file. There we go. If you go to choose a blending mode to try to add color to something, you would think the one that says color is the right one, and it 100% is not. And the reason for that, oh, this is here, look at this. I think it's because there's a little bit of saturation there, but if we were to pick something that is like relatively like a skin tone and put it over the whole thing, like no matter what color we pick here, it's always going to look bad. Like, always.
Yeah, this is I've seen in Mark Brunet's like color methods, where they just like paint everything in like a value, and then like, they use like the color and just like place them in.
He uses color?
The result, yeah, he uses colors after he does like the value paintings.
Well,
then like you have different process, so that's like
the color color blending mode is like kind of a bad way to do it, in my opinion, because adding color, it doesn't change the values at all. It ends up, and like there's going to be a temperature change. What I've seen from Mark Brunet is that he does this along with a gradient map that's going to produce like minor temperature changes within there, and so the two combined create something that does what you're looking for, which is to like create a slightly different temperature range between like the highlights and the shadows, which is what color photos always have. And so when you combine those two, you end up with a slightly better result. But this is one of the reasons why I like overlay or hard light better for adding color to things, because you need to like they already create slightly different hues when you add them, like different saturations when you add them over black and white. And so because you end up with different saturations and different like value zones, it sort of naturally creates a slightly more realistic lighting pattern than something like color. And then when you add the gradient map variation over the top of that, you end up with something that feels way, way more natural. So that's, to me, is like always been my method for doing it.
Yeah, that reminds me too that I also been using like hard light, but right now I'm more into like using linear dodge, and like just experimenting those. Yeah, linear dodge, because like that, I've seen the comic artists have been using that kind of style, in a way that they would put like a harsh and easy sunlight on when they're coloring. So I want to try that out.
Oh,
Overlays,
yeah.
I'm not so sure about it. For me, it's very unpredictable. But this is basically sort of like a 50-50. Sometimes it comes out good or not. But hard light, yeah, I do like using those.
Hard light
then
will...
there's color dodge.
Yeah.
Color dodge is like cross-trend, like enthusiasts.
It's funny, like everyone's got their own blending modes that they like, and I mean I think everyone should try out their own methods and stuff. I have been a lover of hard light for as long as I've used it. But like, yeah, Ross Tran is like, that's his whole brand, is color dodge. I've never once used color dodge, but I'm never gonna say like color dodge is the wrong choice, because I mean Ross Tran's work is great, and like he's built like a whole empire off of color dodge.
Indeed.
I do want to check Mark Brunet on the color layer. I think I will accept basically every answer as being correct other than the color layer.
I say though, like his videos when he does his process, it changes. That process though, I think like he learned it from Ken Kachunga or something. Like I can never pronounce his name, but he's basically like does like work for Blizzard art. I just gonna have to like refine his channel again.
Well, if it's Blizzard, they couldn't have done anything wrong.
Yeah.
I love how the cachet of Blizzard has like absolutely drained.
Wait, Jazz, you can come in.
All right,
like you got the brain.
I'm bringing Jazz up here.
Brain.
Jazz is like popping up here to give us some history lessons.
That trends.
I was surprised to learn yesterday that apparently Ash uses a color layer sometimes.
Oh yeah, Ash is also
color, yeah.
Ash has like different needs as an artist, being colorblind.
Yep, that's a fact that I just learned yesterday when she was like 1 hour, like 1 a.m. just like in the morning. Like God, like holy damn. We got an interesting talk about like how her process and work and stuff.
Yeah, she's got like a really, really interesting like collection of processes, because she's done like a lot of different types of work, but also like I think the color layer thing for her comes from like working around her disability.
I'm not assuming that, but I kind of have to ask that.
But I also think that the color layer is potentially valuable, like among other things. It's just that like the reason I'm being kind of like obnoxious about this is that like I see a lot of people reach for it as the first thing, especially like beginners and people who are like, I have this question all the time, like, hey, how do you do black and white to color? That doesn't make any sense to me. And like people, when they are stumbling around by themselves and trying to figure it out, color layer is one of the very first things that they come across, and it's one of the most dangerous possible tools in the toolkit.
I've never used like a layer until I took that one like digital art class where they introduced color gradient map, and then like color like layer, and then I was like, oh, that's interesting, because they just replace like the color on the value, but they don't like mess up like the value itself. So yeah, like sometimes it could be like very dangerous because certain colors have different values. So you put like red, right, bright red, onto like a kind of lighter like part of like the values, then it just like turned that red into like
Yeah.
like like super kind of bright red. Like it just like changed the tint entirely. So it just gives you the correct information. So that's what when I search it up, it's like see what are these like layers style do. And the color description, the color layer style description said is it only replaces the value with that color, but it will not like change like the value itself. So that's what it's prioritized.
Yeah,
Neat, I gotta head out, but someone here should be able to help you find someone to raid.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Thanks so much,
Bye,
Dustin. See you around. The thing with like, oh god, I just had a thought and it escaped. It's like I can't imagine trying to do a bright red using a color layer because you would have to presume that you'd gotten the value for bright red correct in advance, because every different value is going to produce a different shade of bright red. While like you can see like on the color triangle, red, like fully saturated red, is like neither a light nor a dark color. It kind of exists on its own axis. And to have it like pick the correct value for bright red and then also put it in on a color layer seems like impossible to me. So like one of the things about hard light is like in hard light, saturated colors are fully opaque. Like you can see that at 100%, it actually completely obliterates all the value. And so saturated colors actually, like as you start to, in real life, if you look at like an actual red dress, you will notice that like the redder it gets and the more clearly lit it is, the less range of value you see. Like the deepest shadows and the brightest highlights are like actually a lot closer to each other because the saturation ends up taking over the value. And that's exactly what happens with hard light, which was one of the reasons why it's so good for painting in local colors.
All right, I just finished the critique for one of the folks here. See how that goes for them.
What are you critiquing?
I'm actually doing like, I don't know if it's a critique or not. I just like over paint like one of the folks here in the server.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Albedo, yeah. I don't know, like they just come in and like they ask me about them. I don't know if they're in the audience group right here. Yeah, they're not.
Okay.
But they were in the VC earlier, and then they popped, they hop out.
So this is my new soft brush step.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that whole
soft
video
brush.
was so great, Pete.
Well, yeah, I was really surprised to get a message from you. You're like, oh my god, this soft brush you're talking about is like, I'm like, what, why? I was having fun with it just because it's been fun for these studies, but I was surprised to hear from you about it. Well,
I mean, I don't know if it was the same for you when we went to college, but for me, it was definitely like you were forbidden to use the soft brush. Like that was.
oh yeah, I've told people not
Really?
to forever. I'm like, don't use the soft
Really?
brush.
Don't use soft brush?
Yeah, it was very much like you had to treat any digital art like you would a traditional painting. So the idea of like a soft brush was like you're creating digital slop. You have to like produce the paint brushes and build it up slowly. It was a very like elitist mindset at that time.
Okay,
but
so
you like elitist mindsets.
I used to. Well, I used to like the idea that there was a feeling behind the work that didn't want to get lost in the transition to doing digital work. Like I love the idea of it, but that doesn't mean, I mean, I've changed my tune completely since then. It's like you can still use all these shortcuts, tips, different brushes, whatever you want, and still have it have a feel of, you know, the life or the artist behind it. But definitely when I was in school, this is like 12 years ago, it was very much like, no, you use a hard edge circle brush and that's it. And you like blend as much as you can. That was it.
Oh yeah, you don't want to actually show brush strokes. You want to like make something, use a tool that's going to leave brush strokes, but don't actually leave any.
Exactly.
Yeah, like the revelation for me was like, I'm spending a lot of time trying to get all of this stuff in kind of late in the process. And so it was a lot of like, I need to work through these intermediary steps of things being like, really chunky and like full of brush strokes. And then I need to like progressively work those brush strokes out in order to build these like larger gradients. And I'm like, that's actually not the way most people work. Like, and not just digitally, but across all mediums. Like, there's different solutions to this core problem of like, how do you have larger transitions of value across like a long distance? Do you do something that, do you have like a loose wash that you can put as like a layer? Like when you're working traditionally, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I mean, you're working in graphite, and graphite is like not. Like you could actually use like a graphite powder if you wanted to sort of glaze on like a gradient early, or even kind of like after the fact if you really wanted to. But like most of the time, if you're doing it straight from the pencil, there's like not really a solution for doing this other than like hours and hours and hours of like careful rendering, right?
It's very slow, very methodical.
Yeah, which is nice. I mean, it's nice to spend time sort of meditatively enjoying the medium. Like it's not necessarily something you need to like, it's not a problem to be solved on its own. But for like a study or whatever, man, it is just so much easier to like just not have to like pack in an extra half hour of trying to smooth out all the stuff at the end. By just like baking it in a little earlier and treating this step with the respect that it deserves. Like, I feel like that's been a really nice experience because and then like there's these weird artifacts that I've been enjoying about it. Like there was one that I did where like I think I can give a little bit of the history of it here because I actually have all of the images in the same folder. Studies, finish studies. Okay. I did a study here where I really liked it because like I liked where the hair, I just decided to get mushy with it really early. And so I liked the fact that there was this like really hard edge on the silhouette and this like really overly soft edge on the hair. And I was like, okay, but like I have like all this other chunky work that is like really, really disorganized brush strokes. Like these bands that run along here is just not a very appealing like tool mark to me. And then there's areas that just feel like they're underworked and got muddy and stuff. But I really liked this sort of contrast of like this sort of also the smooth gradient of the face with like the sharper lines cutting through it. I thought that was a really like pleasant like aesthetic. I really like that look of it. And now I'm like looking for opportunities to sort of like create this kind of blown out shadow where like there's a bit like whenever I've got like soft hair, I'm reaching for tools that are going to leave like a kind of soft halo around it. So instead of doing a lot of like textural brushes, like a lot of people are going for like smudge brushes and stuff that's going to leave a lot of textural material behind. I really like choosing to have like a series of harder edges intermixed with this like larger airbrushed look. I think that is really cool, especially if it's being used in a way that feels intentional.
Yeah, I like the way you're using this a lot. I don't know if it was something you stumbled upon, but literally it was me trying out Devin's brushes for like an environment pack, so doing like grass and fields.
I just downloaded that one, yeah.
I'm not kidding, Pete. I was able, actually I can share what I did, but I made like an entire Ghibli study in like an hour. It's so game changing.
I mean, Devin is so efficient. Like, I've watched her stream, and I'm just like watching her like lasso some stuff out, put in some flats, and then it just starts like clicking into final almost immediately. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? There's like, that would have been 10 hours for me.
I'm gonna try to find it. But I think that's what kind of broke my stubbornness when it came to digital process, where it's like, if you're really trying to get a feeling or a mood as your execution or end result, and if you're able to get to there quicker without losing any of your personality within the piece, why am I putting such a stink on myself for not changing it up or like not using brushes that could help me do that?
Yeah, well, the thing I want to try to steer some people away from is I was looking at an artist who was talking to me about mentorship, and I was looking at his work, and I was like, I think that there's maybe too much reliance on trying to look like loose and natural by using a lot of custom brushes to like get that aesthetic, but it's not being done in a way where it's feeling like very intentional. And I think that like if you're at the beginning of learning painting, or even if you're still like an intermediate painter, like there's a temptation to want to like have the brush do the work. And I don't think that there's a point where the brush, yeah, it can do the work of like creating certain types of repetitive marks, but like you have to know what those marks are in order to get a brush to automate them. Like you need to understand the process yourself if you're going to automate it. And
It's essentially saying that if you're doing photo bashing, but if you're not understanding like the intent of like the purpose behind it, right? Because it's sort of like those things, those skills where you need to have those fundamental grasp first before like you're trying these out. Like they are accessible, that's for sure.
yeah,
Also, Manga said or Keiku, like they use their airbrush like 80% of the rendering. Sometimes even
sketching with it. Nah,
sketching with
much.
soft brush.
That's too much. It's too much soft brush.
Marco Bucci is crazy with brushes, and somehow that makes us work. All right, I'm trying to be Dustin right here, trying to interact with the chat.
No, that's good. That's good. I
He's a
like tuned
god.
into my painting a little bit, and then I was like,
Yeah.
I realized I just stopped looking at chat.
Everyone always quote Marco Bucci, and then they think that they're the best ever. And like, well, my college classmates, right? When we were like doing like painting class, like they're all just like quote Marco Bucci, and they brought in their this is like their favorite technique of doing these painting strokes, right? I was just majoring in like drawing, so they're taking like painting class. So that's how I get to know them and such. It's basically studying the same like studio, but different classes. And that's when I heard about Marco Bucci when I first stepped in America. I did not hear about him until 2017.
So he's like the brush guy now, huh?
He's a brush guy now. I guess to me, man, as a Vietnamese, he's the American artist of modern day time. So everyone quote him. Like, I have to look up this guy. Like, oh my
Marco
God,
Bucci
right?
is a god. Oh, I thought he said is God. I was like, whoa,
Is a god.
Yeah.
a god. Okay. I thought we were going really deep on.
Whose brushes were you talking about earlier? Ash, that's to ask.
Rules over divine council.
The person whose brush we were talking about earlier, Devin L. Kurtz.
Devin Kurtz.
Also, Pete, where do you post these finished studies?
I post them on my sketchbook and then on the Dailies channel here on Huckleberry, and then I've been posting them recently on my my Instagram stories.
Okay, because I finished the sketch of this girl, but I also want to share the field that I did, and I just didn't know where to put it, so I'll put it in the dailies. And it was funny that when you were doing that stream too, where you were talking about the soft brush, I noticed you also use the selection tool, and that was another thing I was like staying away from for no reason.
Oh,
really.
lasso?
Yeah, the lasso tool selection. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't use it for a really long time, and then Ash taught me that you can like map it to the pen. I have it actually mapped to my like the button on my pen now, so I can be on the brush, and then I can instant like one button away from lassoing something.
Yeah.
I mean, the lasso is kind of like the second most powerful tool behind the paintbrush.
It changed my life. Okay,
I
I just
agree.
posted in dailies. So I did a little study of a pig statue. It was like a clay statue, and I did it with the selection tool on a live YouTube stream, and I did it in like an hour and 50 minutes, and that was like mind blowing to me because that would have
The
taken me
pig
so
statue
much
here?
longer. Yeah, do you see the clay one?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up on here on stream. Damn, how long did this take?
I did it on a YouTube live stream, so it's under 2 hours.
Oh shit, man, this looks really tight for 2 hours. So what was?
What's crazy, Pete, is it's all selection. Like if you watch, I have it on my YouTube channel. It's literally the selection tool for everything: the ear, the head, the body, the arm behind the body, the backpack.
But what about like all the like subtle reflections and stuff on like the?
Well, that's a paintbrush.
Okay, that's paintbrush. All right, but like yeah, all the hard edges. You're just like, why am I spending all of my time trying to scrape at these edges when I could just lasso tool them?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, well, yeah, for that. But then the glow from the bounce light, that was all a soft brush. I think that's why when I saw your video, I was like, yes, that changed my whole opinion on how I work digitally. Because everything was a soft brush and selection tool until I started adding like the cuts and the clay detail.
Yeah, because like when you want to have, I mean, like I was just about to actually like do the opposite, but like, because like when I'm doing these backgrounds and stuff, like I like to brush them in to get like a little bit of a looser edge on. I like to get like a little bit of a looser edge on the silhouette that I can kind of go back and forth on a little bit. But like if I wanted to like commit to a silhouette, like it would be so much easier to do it with the lasso tool. And then we were watching somebody who was painting like all sorts of like little intricate armor details and stuff. And it's like if it's got hard edges all the way around it, just lasso the fucking thing. Like trying to carefully place a million tiny brush strokes to try to get something that's like hard edged on every border is just not worth it. Like there's no value in it. Like making brush strokes in the interior of something where there's like messy transitions and soft transitions and lots of like varieties of edges, yeah, that's the only way to do it is to paint it. But like when it comes to like if something's going to have a hard edge all the way around, like you don't actually get any benefit out of like trying to define that hard edge 100% of the time.
Been a learning experience, Pete. A lot of swallowing the bitter pill.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that's been a lot of what I'm doing recently is just going like, okay, well, let's just like presume that I fucking know nothing, that I'm just like an idiot, and that everything I've learned up to this point is like potentially wrong, like, and just being
Someone
less
just
proud
won-
about it.
Sorry, I might have to cut in. Someone just won the tablet.
Oh, well, somebody just won a tablet.
Yeah,
Well, let's see who won.
It's Attic.
Addict won the tablet. Addict, you've got a tablet. Addict's an awesome artist. Addict, are you around? Can you tell me are you going to give this tablet to somebody? A lot of people who are applying for this also know somebody who needs a tablet. Addict, are you in chat?
Speak,
Like, you won,
Attic.
but I don't want you to win it.
No, Addict can win it. I'm
No,
just wondering, what is he going to do with it? If he needs one? He said it's on YouTube. Someone, can you please link? Oh, Tim, can you link to your YouTube video in the chat?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I should see if Devin's game for doing like a brush demo or something on here. I know she's got like tens of thousands of downloads on her Gumroad for a brush set or whatever. But
Ooh, I would love to try her brush as well.
I wonder if she would be game for coming on here and just doing a demo where she demonstrates like kind of what the brushes are for. I know like for me, like getting a new brush set, I feel so lost every single time because I don't fully understand like the artist's intent behind creating them. But I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna click on this so I get that link up. At Vistaprint, we can get. Oh my god.
Just the prince.
Copy current address. What the fuck? OBS. This is.
He is being funky.
Oh my god. Current address, no, that's not what I wanted. I want to copy a link and take it into a real browser. There we go. I want to take it into a real browser because then it'll be in my YouTube history and I can go watch it later. Okay.
Oh, well, thank you.
All right. Where are we? We're in this thing. Okay. I'm questioning myself on what I want to do. Like, if I want to do it all black and white, or color a little bit, or something. I'm typically trying to do some sort of color thing with it. Some sort of weird little color gag. I've done some black and white ones in the past. Did I do anything interesting with ones that were black and white? I think I just did them in black and white. I wonder if it'd be really interesting to do it where it's like
I mean, I feel like you've been doing a few interesting mixes where like the actual figure is black and white, but the background's colored.
yeah, but that's when I've got a color scene and I'm like retracting some of the color, but there's like no color in here other than the black other than the background if I do it that way. So let's see. If I were to I could do I was thinking about maybe having like a darker background, and there's like this blown out edge here. I wonder if there's something to like still losing the same edges but not defining the lighting. This could be an experiment that goes terribly wrong.
You need to watch Clayton Crane Brush make, and you will understand. Lemon Natter said. Someone asked if it's channel review at the beginning or end. It was the beginning. You missed it.
Oh, the challenge review? Yeah, it was at the beginning.
Oh, I forgot. I do not have a Twitch account. Funny.
I always love a
I'm
good
sorry.
tone pressed against a rim light, and it really makes it pop like instantly.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
I want to have that, like, I like how her forehead and the bridge of her nose and stuff is kind of getting eaten away at by the light. And I want to like maintain that, but I wonder if I can do it without the rim light. I can do it with the rim light here and have this sort of rim light pressed against the darker edge.
I mean, I really like how you have it on the shoulders.
Yeah, it's working over there, and like you can see like putting the background in over the character, like where there's going to be like dark on dark, it creates a little bit of a darker edge naturally, which is kind of helpful. And then where then I'm like trying to avoid the edge because I know there's going to be light, it gives it a little bit of extra room, and it makes like a little bit of an uneven, more artistic mark. And so that's part of the reason why I keep doing this. But I didn't end up putting the rim light over the edge of the face there. I'm going to figure out, now I'm going to get in a little bit with, and if I'm going to keep this all black and white, or I could do a little bit of, like it looks like it's like in sepia a little bit.
Yeah.
So I could do like a minor amount of color like this.
Oh, I dare you to do some obscure thing like that. Ooh.
A little bit of sepia, like maybe pumping up the sepia just a little bit, I think brings out the highlights especially. So I think this might be the play. I might leave this on and just come back, leave it off and come back to it once I get a little bit more stuff punched in.
You have such interesting gradient map pre-saves.
Oh, you know what, Tim? Those gradient maps are downloadable off of huckleberry.art for $0 if anyone wants to go download them.
Are they really?
Yes,
I'll
they
go
are.
do that right now.
And then the secret is that it gives a great opportunity for people to sign up for the mailing list. Like, we are going to market to people who get all of our... we're going to be adding more stuff, gradients and brushes and whatnot, and then it'll be like an onboarding for people to like learn about classes and things.
Yeah.
And it's free. I mean, you get marketed at a little bit, you get some free stuff. It's no obligation. You don't need to sign up for the mailing list. It's fine. But that's sort of the play here. I'm wondering if Devin is going to use those it actually collected or is going to use those 30,000 emails or whatever she got from Gumroad from the free brush pack.
Oh, I'm sure. She actually finished her book today. She's sending in the final thing.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Is it going to Kickstarter?
You know what? Good question. I should ask her. I don't know.
Man, that would blow up on fucking Kickstarter. She's so hot right now.
Right?
The timing on that would be excellent. I love it. I'm loving this process of sort of over accentuating these softer transitions, like the hairline. Instead of trying to nail it on the reference, like getting it to sort of over accentuate the softness of it, I feel like adds a nice artistic touch that I really am enjoying bringing into these.
Yeah, your studies have just been really solid, Pete. They're just really good.
It did start that way. Did I show you the beginning one?
No.
I did a sort of before and after. This is the first one I did. The likeness is jacked up. The values are jacked up. Nothing works about the color. And then this is number 63. It's from the same photo set. So I was posting this one around a lot in part because I was kind of returning back to the beginning point to sort of measure my progress. And the before and after on this, I was very, very proud of. So this is about 2 months of near daily, or it's 2.5 months of near daily study. I managed to upgrade my skill set a lot. I managed to add in a lot. I really strengthened my process, really strengthened my ability to reproduce features. My anatomy has gotten way, way better, especially looking at reference. The fact that I was able to do this this one, which is kind of weird perspective because it's at this really wide angle lens and it's exaggerating the face in an odd way. The fact that I have confidence that this isn't going to come out looking like a total fucking ogre is because I've spent the last couple of months just working really hard on these studies and doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, there's been nothing in the past 10 years that's gotten me to paint this many faces. So my ability to draw faces got worse over the last 10 years. But because I have a foundation for it, I've been able to regain my strength in that area really quickly by focusing on it. So instead of feeling like I'm an old man who can't learn new things, I instead have felt I have this advantage being somebody who has spent a lot of years really invested in art. And so now I'm like a retired athlete who's getting back in the game and regaining their skills.
That's great.
And it's
You
been
can definitely see the progress. It looks amazing, Pete.
Thank you. I really feel more capable as an artist as a result of doing these studies, and it's made the whole process really fun. It's by contrast, me actually going to the gym and trying to work out is something I've never been in shape. So I'm starting at zero and it's painful, not just physically painful, but it's also the progress is so much slower and harder to measure. Yeah. With the art thing, you'd think art would be the subjective thing that is so much harder to tell. With weightlifting, you just know, am I lifting more weight or not? And art, it's am I getting better at art? Who's to say? But it feels the physical stuff, there's so many moving pieces, and it's I'm not really getting in-depth measurements on things, and I'm, kind of disorganized process. And so I can't really tell what my progress is with my physical health, but the the art stuff, I'm like, I can feel myself getting stronger at art every day, and I have been for like the past couple of months. And it just energized me to want to keep going with it just about every day. I've even like come in on the weekends just to like, I don't have anything going on, and so I'm just like booting up Photoshop and doing studies. Just for fun, just because I'm bored.
It's inspiring. It's inspiring to see you really go this route and to see the growth and progress. Although, Pete, I do have to say I have to go. We have friends that just arrived. We're getting our PS5 back today so we can play Lies of P. But thank you for having me on this live.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It was good hanging out with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to come on again sometime.
All right. I'll see you around.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Right. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, I don't think it would take people that much time to start to see some real progress if they were to like commit to doing this. Oh, Addict, yeah. Oh my God, I see that on Discord. Addict, you won the tablet.
Addict is here.
What are you? Is this tablet for you? Is it for someone else? Like, I'm surprised to see you winning it because I know you're like a really great artist, and I thought you already had a tablet. But you are welcome to claim it. I was just curious.
And Daddy's just been drawing with a mouse this entire time.
I know at least one professional artist that draws with a mouse.
If you're using the Illustrator, you're technically drawing with a mouse. It's actually easier with that.
Oh, if doing a vector?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mm. All right, we have a gesture study session today with Jerome, though. He and I are actually agreeing that we're gonna take turn and like hosting it.
Oh,
if
excellent.
He's not around, yeah. Because I used to host like gesture drawing back in art club, but it kind of fell off due to lack of interest. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep either being busy with something else or it's like on a day that I'm like trying to take off, and so I haven't been able to join in yet. But yeah, so is he doing that on a different stage right now?
I don't know if it's like stages, but what he's trying to do is that he's gonna have like a intense session, and then he's gonna have like a classic kind of relaxed session.
Oh,
So
okay.
today we're doing a intense session.
What time does it start?
Which is on Friday, and then like Sunday it will be a relaxed gesture drawing session.
What time is it starting?
It's gonna start in.
Ow.
Actually, it's starting now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like right now you're like 1 minute like late, Bowman.
Not me. I'm just polite.
You beat for today.
Oh, Addict says he's got a small tablet that's getting old. I was starting to worry about the budget to buy one. So the interest is for you. Man, it's all yours. I will. I'll be in touch with you after the stream, and I'll get that brand new tablet mailed out to you, and you won't have to be using your old busted one anymore.
Go got the hardware upgrades.
I mean, this is it's a budget tablet, but the budget tablet these days are like really good. Back when I first started painting, back in my day, a phrase everybody loves to hear all the time. It was like I used a tablet called an AIPTEK, AIPTEK,
Oh yeah.
and like this is a tablet brand no one's ever heard of, and like it had like a AAA battery in it. And it would like start to get spotty, like it's like it would start to like wear out and like drop its signal when it would get low on battery, and then I would shake it. I would pick up the pen and shake it when I felt like I was like trying to make a mark and it wouldn't get made properly. I pick it up and shake it to try to get like the battery connection to sort of reconnect on the inside of it. And so I had this habit for a long time of like I would like make a few strokes, and then if something went wrong, I would like pick my hand up and shake it back and forth. And like I did that for a long time, even after I got like a Wacom and they didn't have a battery in it anymore. But that's the tablet that I learned how to paint on throughout all of college, was an AIPTEK.
Ooh.
It was big though. It was what it was it was like really cheap. It was like $120. for like a 9x12 tablet. So it was like the equivalent of like $1,000 Wacom Intuos 2 at the time, but it was a tenth the price, which is why I got it. And it was good enough. I mean, like the pressure sensitivity worked, it was accurate or whatever. But as soon as I had graduated from college and I had the funds to be able to like buy myself something better, I like never looked back. What a piece of crap. Like, I haven't seen.
They're just very happy right now. They have an old Cintiq like Pro 16 with a bunch of burnout pixels.
Oh,
Now they got a new one.
Those I
And that
really
can
don't
write out
like
that
those
text.
small scale display tablets. The smaller display tablets, the lap based ones, I don't like them. Like I don't understand how people use them. Never been a fan. I hope that you get, you've got like a decent sized monitor and that this tablet ends up treating you well. Let me know how it goes. I'm going to pick up one of these XP pens myself. XP Pen reached out to me for a collab, and I was like, that's awesome. I'm giving away tablets every week. I'd love to be like, do this officially. And they never got back to me. I even sent a follow-up email, and they like ghosted me after reaching out. I don't know what's up. Maybe they heard about how I had a bad experience, but not bad experience, but how like ZenSlab sent me a free tablet to review, and then I just told them I wouldn't review it. And they're like, oh, wait. We saw this guy's on a list.
The list.
Do not send free hardware to this artist. That I did the same thing with it's like a lump with a bunch of knobs on it. At first I thought it was like all right, and I really wanted something like that, and then I tried it out and I was like, actually I don't use this for anything and I don't want it. And so I just like got one laying around. And I never ended up reviewing it. I also don't do hardware reviews, so I don't know why like multiple companies put me on a list to like send me free stuff to hardware review. I guess they were hoping I was going to blast it out on social media in exchange for just like one piece of free gear. I'm more, if you want to like me to blast out like hardware recommendations to my entire follower list, you have to spend more than like giving me a single piece of free hardware that cost you $10 to make. Like that's, come on. Give me a break. But yeah, because I have that attitude, I think that might be the reason XP Pen never got back to me. I keep like getting them that there was this short period where I kept getting companies to send me free stuff, and then I would just be like, nah, I don't really like it that much. And then they'd be like, well, can you write that you do like it? And I'm like, no. And that was the end. I was marketing them. I mean, yeah, maybe the XP Pen was like, oh, you're already doing giveaways and talking about our products? Well, I guess we don't need to invest any money in you. That was the other thing. I was like, I need to play more coy. I need to play things close to my chest for sure. Because I tend to just like tell people everything when they ask me a question. And that's just, it's not very strategic. I'm not like a very strategic person when it comes to like social interactions or whatever. And so they're like, oh, would you ever consider working with us? I'd have to be like, I don't know, I'd have to check my calendar. I'm very busy these days. I'm gonna see, like, I've got boating with ScarJo, let's see, through most of October, but I maybe they'll fit you in.
That's why you just don't have to say everything, just say just enough.
Oh, can't they also emailed Kim and ghosted her too? Okay, so this is just what they do. Maybe they thought they would get like 10% response rate, and they got like 70% response rate. They're like, we don't want to give out this many tablets. Let's just send it to the good artists. Pete and Kim, not on that list.
Are we talking about the XP Pen, right?
Yeah, XP Pen.
Okay, it's the XP Pen.
Why, did you get contacted by XP Pen?
Yeah, that was like a last year ago.
Oh, a year ago?
This is basic. Yeah. So our club, right? They have these like underground event where they just invite a bunch of like kind of pro artists, and somehow I am a pro artist in that cohorts.
Somehow.
So yeah, somehow, right? And we got into these like underground event, and we do these like streams, right, where we showcase our work, and do like MMA, ask me anything, that sort of stuff. So the turnout rates are like somewhat like 80s and like people, right? Mostly are like beginner artists, or like folks are aspiring artists. And XP Pen were like sponsor them that, so they reach out to me, right? So in order for me to like be sponsored, I have to write a whole essay about why I am supporting XP Pen. Right?
They made you do homework?
Essay. Yeah, they gave me a homework and shit. But like I'll just ignore him. It's like I'm not gonna write a whole like essay on that.
I would tell them I'm not writing an essay.
I'm not writing an essay just for you to sponsor. But like and then like even then, like what, like I only stream on Discord. Like I'm not making money. I'm just telling you like, hey, I'm using XP Pen. Right now I'm using Huion though. No, still great.
Yeah.
Now they're doing the same thing as well. They're recent underground, where they just giving out like SP Pen, and the first thing that they sent me as a gift is an XP Pen mat, like the PC mats. For like, oh, thanks for hosting the stream right there, man.
Here's a
like,
mouse
cool,
pad.
I got a mat. Yeah, no. Here's like a PC mat. It's better than mouse pad. Last time we gave out. Last time you gave out. And how did I not know about this?
I've got some desk mats. I'm running low on mine. I'm wondering if people would want me to give away desk mats, because I love having a desk mat, and if you don't have one, like it can be like a huge life upgrade. But like, I mean, that's weird, dude.
And I would love to have like angel desk mats.
I sell them. They sell for $60. People love them. I didn't ever realize I wanted one, and I kept having people who were buying my play mats and telling me they were using them for their computer. And so I tried sticking one under my like keyboard and mouse, and I was like, ooh, this is actually really good. And then I reached out to my playmat people, and I was like, can we make one that's big enough to like fit a whole keyboard and mouse setup? And they're like, oh, do you want like 14 by 32 inches? I was like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, we got those. I'm like, okay. And so that's like my thing that I actually like selling more, because like playmats, fine, people like gaming. I like make them available, but like for me, like what I want day to day is these like big ass desk mat that I can like put on my desk. And I had I got a cheap black one from Razer, but they like get dirty easier, and like I think an artistic one underneath the keyboard and mouse actually looks nicer too. So I really like having mine a lot, and I'm proud to sell them, because I know it's something that like I personally use and recommend for people. But I don't think everyone has them, because I don't think they realize like how nice it is to have a gigantic mouse pad on your whole desk, to make your whole desk kind of soft and like usable area for a mouse and stuff. Feels really good. But yeah, if you're working with a tablet company, they should send you like tablet hardware and not like a giant mouse pad.
Yeah. But I guess it's like that's basically just like a free stream that we do, so we're not getting paid like as much. And they're just like giving this more like a gift, like, hey, thanks for like hosting these kind of sponsored thing. And for the giveaway, they just have to really focus on the resource of getting people like into like this server right here, and being sponsored and all that.
Yeah, I thought at first giveaways would be like a really great way to like get people to like sign up for the server, and then I'm like, I don't really want to bother people on social media to like bait them with a giveaway. I just like want people to get like I really want people to get free stuff, because like there's always people around the community that could really use it, and I don't want to be like withholding. I don't want to be like, oh well, no, this is for people who I want to trick into like joining my Discord server. Like it's not for you.
Trick.
Like, no, I'm like, hey, if people around here actually need this stuff, it's nice to just like give it out, you know, a little bit every week, you know, just a nice thing to give back to the community.
Yeah. There was side tangent though. There was this one tech company that's trying to do like those giveaways, and I don't know like what's that CEO mind come into play, but someone won a PC, and then the guy just said, "Oh, you don't have enough followers, so we're gonna not give you that." And then yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about, right? But that just like destroyed itself. It was so crazy. Oh, Q remembers it, yeah. So yeah, like if your good intention is like providing a community, like encouraging like us doing like arts and like exploring, experimenting new like ways, that should be the intention.
One of the
course,
major groups of people we want to reach with Huckleberry is people who are like think of themselves as creative but who haven't jumped into digital art yet. And like that includes like people who have played around with other stuff, whether they've like played around with music or played around with AI, and like they've always like really liked digital art, and they're like actually hanging around like watching streams and stuff, but they haven't done it themselves. Everyone's always like, well, I don't have this stuff. Like whatever you're using, I don't own that. They don't even know what they need. And I'm like, oh, we should get those people in. I like number one, I want to tell them like, what do people use to make this stuff? And number two, I just want to like put it in some of their hands. Like it's like not that complicated. Like getting a tablet set up to do this is really easy. Right? Like I mean, like we use this stuff every day, so it's just like second nature. Like, oh yeah, my computer just has a tablet on it. But when someone comes to my office for the first time, if they're like we have a guest over and they're not an artist, they'll always be like what? They're like, what do you use? Like, how do you? Is there some sort of special gear you use to be able to draw on the computer? I'm like, yeah, it's a tablet. Like when I went to Israeli airport security, I looked super suspicious, and they searched everything I had, and they pulled my tablet out of my bag, and they're like, we need to make sure this isn't a bomb. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Like, there's not a lot in there. It's like a simple device. But they're like, what is this? I was like, it's a tablet. They're like, what does that mean? I'm like, it's for drawing on the computer. They're like, where do you draw on? I'm like, the big flat part. And they're like, what do you draw on it with? I'm like, there's a pen in that bag. That looks like a pen, but it's not. Like, they've just never seen it. Like, they've been pulling shit out of people's... Their whole job is pulling shit out of people's luggage and asking them questions about it. They had never seen one of these in all their years working for the airport. Like, of course not. Like, nobody owns a tablet other than, like, people like us. And, like, I think that's one of the things. Like, it's just a total lack of exposure to the kinds of, like, standard practices that we're used to. That, like, keeps people thinking that this stuff is like not for them.
What did you do to arouse the suspicion of the Israeli TSA?
So a few things. I was an American going into Israel, and I was boarding on a plane from Valencia, Spain. They're like, why are you going to Israel? Why are you an American going to Israel, not from America? And I was like, I was signing autographs at a card game tournament. And they're like, can you prove that? And I was like, well, here's a website that says the dates that I was supposed to be in Spain signing autographs. And they're like, they're looking at each other. They're like, we've never heard of Magic the Gathering. We don't know what you do for this. We don't know why people would gather here for this thing. We don't know why they would care that you're there. So they're like super confused, and they're like, what's in the luggage? I was like, dirty laundry. They're like, why is it all dirty? It's like, because I've been in Spain and I don't know how to wash my clothes over here. I was going to wash them when I got to Israel. And they're like, I'm dressed in like a dirty hoodie and like a dirty skater hoodie. And they're like, what are you going to do when you get to Israel? I'm like, right away? They're like, yeah. I was like, well, I'm going to meet the people I'm over there to do business with. They're like, you're going to a business meeting? I was like, sure. And they're like, what are you going to wear? And I'm like, this? And
It's
they're
so
like,
specific.
yeah.
So
Well, that was the thing. They were like really thorough. Like they don't just like scan your shit. They like ask you like, what are you doing and why? And I was like, they're like, you're going to go to a business meeting in a skater hoodie and like dirty jeans. I was like, I'm an artist. And they went, oh, okay. That was the only thing I said that made sense to them. They were like, yeah. Okay, that makes sense, actually. Oh, you're an artist. That's why you look like shit. Okay, I get it. We'd seen those before. You guys look terrible.
That's a really good story.
But then they're digging through. They're like, well, we need to they brought me aside to ask me a ton of questions. But then like, we need to scan all your stuff. And then they're like scanning through my bags. I brought my like laptop and my tablet and stuff. And they're like, we've never seen hardware like this before. We need to run it through we need to bring you into the basement of the airport and run it through like a giant machine that detects bombs like on the inside of stuff. I was like, whatever. If I'm not gonna miss my flight, I got nothing else going on. This is cool. Like I'm fine. Like I'm not nervous. Like, what are you gonna find? I've got dirty underpants and a painting tablet. Like, it's like all the possessions that I have. They're like, can we look at your phone? I was like, sure, whatever. I don't have anything fucking crazy on my phone. It's not like I've got like a bunch of like nudes or whatever. I'm like, here, go crazy. They're like, show us the last photo of your children. I was like, all right. It's like them on it's like them on a sled. I was like, here it is. It's like, they're like looking for evidence that like this is maybe I think this is the last trip I'm ever gonna take. It's like, no. I just am in a very non-standard situation. They're like, are you Jewish? I was like, no. And they're like, like, do you have any interest in Jewish culture? I was like, I mean, kind of, yeah, I suppose. Not more than the average person. Maybe a little more than the average person. I don't know. They're like Googling me and stuff. They're like squinting. This all seems really fucked up. I don't know what this guy's deal is.
They're like just all of your social interaction in like one single day.
Well, yeah, it was weird. So like Anya was with me in Spain, and she was traveling back to America while I was going off to Israel for this work gig, right? And so they're like, where's your wife? I was like, oh, over in the other terminal. And they're like, why isn't she here with you now? I was like, she's going home. They're like, why isn't she coming with you? I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to be on a work gig. I'm just going to just hang out like away from our family while I just to sit in a hotel room while I go off to hang out in a game studio and talk to them about concept art.
Seems sus.
It's sus as hell. I mean, they're supposed to ask people about their stuff and figure out hey, is this normal or not? And the answer was not normal. Whatever this guy's got going on, that's not the normal thing. I'm having a tough time today, guys. This one is throwing me. There's so many weird, maybe because I didn't zoom in early enough or something. There's so many little soft value transitions throughout this face. Building the whole structure of it is feeling very difficult. I feel like I'm missing some sort of larger soft transition somewhere, or I'm cutting an edge in a weird spot, or the proportions are subtly off in just the wrong way. I don't know, something's getting me on this one. And there's not a lot left to do, but it feels like it's a mile away from where I want it.
Could Jodo just give you an encouragement that you're doing great?
Yeah, oh, no, you're doing fine. It'll be all right.
You're doing great, dog.
Yeah, it's just one of those tougher days, I guess.
You also picked a really hard photo.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I wouldn't want to paint it.
Because she got that elongated chin.
Yeah, and also like I'm having a hard time, I think, finding where the edges are because of how blown out they are, and so I could just like, oh, not have those edges, and it'd be fine. But I needed to like anything I'm going to be leaving ambiguous needs to feel intentionally ambiguous. Otherwise, it's going to be confusing rather than just feel like stylish. See you around, Kim. The angle, yeah, maybe. I'm finding stuff now that I'm zooming in. I'm seeing like a lot of little details that I had totally out of place that I'm starting to like get a better sense on now. But the fact that I'm doing the values so different than the original reference, I think is part of the thing also. Thought it maybe was a clever idea, and now I'm like really second guessing it. Yeah, wow, I really hate the way this face came out.
I
really hate it.
I'll be honest.
Huh?
I said I'm trying not. I was like stifling a laugh when you zoomed out. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's not.
If you notice the angle where like her ears are, right, and then like the noses, they're kind of like parallel.
Her forehead looks like it's sloping back a little bit more in the reference. Her
That could
jaw
be the
looks
lighting.
square too.
Like the rim lights in the
Oh,
back,
yeah,
the
it
back
is
of
the
it usually
lighting.
blend in.
I bet her forehead's actually rounder.
Yeah, I mean, you can see
you
it.
can just push the chin out. You can push the chin like forward.
Yeah, because it's like the forehead does go out to here.
Try rounding out the forehead and lowering the brow.
I'd say the chin, like the mouth area, should be like a bit further out.
I think, yeah. Like he.
I'm gonna redo the
Trying to
eye,
stylize your
starting from
study.
something that's a little bit more structural. I think the mouth doesn't seem like it's turned the right way. The line on the chin is wrong,
Yeah, the chin.
and it's throwing off like the whole proportion of the jaw, which is really changing the structure of the face.
Yeah.
And then like all the transitions in here are like mega soft. They're like totally like smooth,
Yeah.
gradual ones. But the soft brush I'd done at the beginning wasn't as precise or comprehensive enough to like really get the whole thing. So I think like some of it is like the whole side plane of the face up here is staying fairly dark, and I think it actually goes all the way down into like the whole side of the face is actually darker than where I have it.
The noses is too big. Lips also maybe. The nose tend to be
Yeah, the
come out
nose-
further.
The bulb
She's
of the
got a
nose is
longer
going back
like a
a little bit.
nose.
I feel like her cranium's like caved in as well. Like I think part of the problem isn't actually the face, it's the structure of like the whole head.
The back of the jaw could come down a bit.
Yeah, the the lens on here is like so weird that it's like, unless it feels like the whole, I think part of it is like the background here is showing the extreme perspective because of the window lattice behind it, and I don't have that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you picked a hard photo. There's
Yeah.
a lot of like really subtle transitions.
There's a lot
lighting
of
is,
subtleties,
like-
but it's also shot in like a really peculiar way. It's like an odd looking model that's being shot in a strange way.
Yeah.
Mhm. Novel solution. Novel problems require novel solution. You're right.
Like, I don't think I got the broad strokes of it that far off, but because it's like,
I think I know the drill. I just have to call them and tell them that you didn't mix everything. Okay?
it, my wife's talking in the room, it's distracting too. Oh, everything's out. And then my younger brother was actually holding the controller, and I had the controller was unplugged. And
Okay. I might have to wait till Monday to do this. Is that okay? Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
you hearing my wife screaming on the phone in the background?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I gotta warn her that like if she's gonna take calls in the bedroom, that everyone on stream can hear her.
There's backstory behind the pizza.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so like you're right. It's like, so the hairline comes up at a steeper angle because of like how the perspective is causing it to fall off. But then like the hair is maybe not high enough piled on top, which is making the whole head look like oddly small through the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Gestures drawing session starts in 30 minutes.
Oh, it's starting late?
So we're 1 hour late. Yeah, we're an hour late.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to get the straightest line I can to wrapping this up to the point where I'm not like embarrassed to show it to people.
You should probably put in a bit more brow ridge on like the far side. Like, you can kind of see like a lot of like the far side of her brow ridge in the photo.
Yeah, it's just, yeah,
that
in
center
the
line.
reference, it's like, this is where like it's getting eaten up by the rim light a lot.
Yeah. There you go. I think that's actually helping it.
Oh, by the way, Pete,
Mm.
we should have a little peach icon for the gesture drawing. So like if people are like did like a certain milestone of like a gesture sketches, they should get a word with a peach icon. It's like good at sketching or something. Someone recommended though. Someone brainstormed and say, "Oh, we should have an eggplant," but then like, nah, just
For
do
the
peaches.
gesture?
Yeah, for the gesture.
Um,
But it's not like gonna be like you're doing one, you just have one. Like, you have to do like a certain amount of it because it's about like marathoning.
sure.
So yeah, that's something that me and Omen's like cooking up.
It's a good suggestion.
Yeah. So we want to see, at least like I want to see like if we can keep doing this consistently.
Yeah, I can definitely add some, like a little award for you guys to give out to people for coming in and showing good effort on the gesture drawing and like having like coming in and like doing a certain number of sessions or something like that, however you want to distribute them.
Yeah. But Omen's he's calling the shot, so he figured it out.
Okay.
I'm just the idea guy.
It's fun being the idea
Substitute.
guy.
Yeah, the substitute idea dude.
Gradually coming together.
It's all coming together now.
Pete's got this. I'm getting invested in like Pete's endeavor.
Yeah, and seeing if I can pull this out of the trash and like make a good one.
like I'm watching an action movie right now.
Trying to build the eye up from like the largest shapes to the smallest ones has been really, really helpful for me. Because like trying to do it from like the highest contrast features first was like how I used to always do it. And then it turns into this like horrible process of trying to nudge everything around to get it so that the whole structure of the eye feels right, when really like, you know, trying to place like the exact right contour curve for the eyelash doesn't feel like the real starting point for like what's important about the eye shape. So like building it sort of back to front like this has been really helpful for me to get it more right on like the first pass generally.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm doing one of my bad habits again. I just realized. Trying to like zoom in close but also have the reference far away has been unproductive.
Play Ed Sheeran's bad habits.
I don't know any Ed Sheeran songs. I only know what he looks like. He looks like a goober.
No, there's a song that's just called Bad Habits.
I'm sure it's about girlfriends or something.
Yeah, it's about vampire.
About vampires?
Yeah, about vampires. Pretty cool though.
You're like, it's not a metaphor about a relationship. It actually is about really about vampires.
I wouldn't say that. It's just about vampires dating.
Oh, vampires dating. Okay.
But no, it could be a synonym for the vampire urges that taking over the character.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's why they call it bad habits.
Because it's about trying to resist your desire for human blood and your inability
And
to
also
do
like
anything
going
about it.
out for like dating. Yeah.
I really need to kick this bad habit of feasting upon the living.
Yeah.
It's like you can interpret it in two ways. That hey, no, I'm like attaching to this girl, but she's like going out, right? Someone else. So it's like my bad habits, like just simping for this lady.
Uh-huh.
But it could also be interpreted as that, oh, I'm a vampire. I have to hold it. Otherwise, so like I'll just decimate the entire.
My
city
bad habit
with
is
my
that on a
blood.
full moon, I transform into a half man, half wolf. Also, I keep dating girls with red flags.
Yes.
I'm not sure which is worse.
Look at these girls with red flags over them. They smell like blood.
Yeah.
And that song's like almost a 600 million views.
600 million. Damn. Yeah, I know Ed Sheeran's
Almost,
a big
almost.
big name artist these days. He's a fancy famous
Yeah,
boy.
Yeah, he's big because he got that Elton John backup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got that Elton John connect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I play a little Christmas music with like Elton John. So, it pops.
I'd collab with Elton John if you want to reach out to me. Anybody knows Elton John in the chat, feel free to reach out to Elton John in my behalf.
Yes.
I'm going to keep doing that joke until it starts getting funny. Every time it comes up, I'm going to keep doing it. I hope you guys don't mind. Hope it turns into a funny joke.
Sooner or later.
Sooner or later, yeah. It's one of those things I'm kind of banking on the fact that like bad jokes that are repeated often enough have the potential to kind of turn themselves around, rehabilitate themselves into a funnier joke.
Rehabilitate.
It's like and then I don't need to think of a lot of jokes if I can just use the same ones, banking on the idea that they get funnier the more they get overused. That'd be really sweet.
that basically memes. And sort of like while these musicians, Alcely and Ed Sheeran's like on that top notch of like they have such a soft like voice. Their lyrics is just kind of out of the world. Especially like Alcely, his soul song just like telling stories.
Yeah, Usher.
Yeah. Usher.
Did
man,
you
I
say
haven't heard
Usher?
that
I thought you
in a
said
while.
you thought you started going on.
Alcely. I said Alcely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Alcely.
So I misunderstood you, but still, one of my very favorite internet clips is of Usher wishing everyone a happy Christmas from Xbox. You know what I'm talking about? You ever seen the
check
Merry
that out.
Christmas Xbox video?
No, what are you talking about?
It's just look it up on YouTube. I mean, I could pull this up. This is one of my. This is a total non sequitur, but this is a classic, all-time classic internet video in my book.
This is the one though.
What?
There's like learn the holiday with Usher like a video.
Oh no! It's literally just Usher wishing people Merry Christmas from Xbox. Usher, Xbox.
There's so many of them. What?
Oh, it is just Usher
Yeah.
telling people Merry Christmas, Happy Valentine's Day, etc.
Merry Christmas, Xbox.
It's like it's the whole clip. It was like I don't know how many millions of dollars they paid, but that's all they got from him. And so
Happy Easter, Xbox.
Yo, he got paid millions of dollars just to say that line.
they just set up this whole
Wow.
fucking set. Wait, they got different ones?
Rated T for
like,
teen.
for real, you got so many.
Happy Valentine's Day to all of
For
my
every
Dance
holiday.
Central 3 fans out there. Grab a partner, but keep it on the dance floor.
Wow, that was the most involved one. Oh man, did they turn this into like a yearly thing, or you think they did all these setups in one day? He's wearing like the same fucking outfit each time. Learn the holidays with Usher.
That's
Happy
like
Easter,
just enough to
Xbox.
like make
Happy
an AI
Easter,
Usher
Xbox.
special.
Hell yeah.
That's enough to like make an AI Usher just like said as wishing people like a happy holiday from Xbox.
I mean, yeah, it's Microsoft. Nowadays, like, they wouldn't need to pay Usher millions of dollars. They already got him to sign some abusive contract, like, 10 years ago or whatever. And now they can just create an AI clone that'll wish people all kinds of happy holidays. I feel like my painting ability's gone back. Like, I feel like I've just reverted to being like way worse at painting. Like, I can't control the values of this at all. The finish of it is like awful. Like, there's so many little accidental like mushy value transitions, and this is where people just start going for the fucking. I mean, I'm wondering if maybe I should just hit it with like a smudge brush and make it look like it's a little bit intentional. Because, boy, my rendering is I'm usually able to like get it smoother than this. I feel like my IQ points have gone down today or something. Jesus.
Lips.
Ugh, the lips are not good. Everything about it's not good. This is like my worst one in a while. I was like, oh, this is a beautiful photo. This is gonna make for an easy study. It's like just a bust, and it's black and white. There's so little going on. This is just gonna be a slam dunk. I'll do this one really quick and then log out. And instead, I'm here like at nearly 3 hours,
Near 3 hours.
struggling, just struggling. And like there's all these like lumps that I just can't seem to like mush out. I don't know how I ended up in this position. I feel like I've been cursed by a bog witch to like get bad at Photoshop painting today.
I hate it when bog witches do that.
Dude, I took one day
What
off
is
from
a
study to
bog
play video
witches?
games, and now the fucking bog witch has got me.
Bogwitch just seems evil.
You'll never do good at Photoshop again. Fuck, Bogwitch. God damn it, again.
They're out here casting spells,
Ugh.
casting hex, and
Every time I feel like I start getting ahead, I end up, it's a Bogwitch gets me. God damn it.
I guess that you just have to find the hexes that they place around your house and destroy it.
Yeah, I keep getting, okay, you know what really, how I know I'm in fucking trouble is like I start to go like, oh man, I feel like I just can't figure this out, and I keep getting people like in chat who are like, oh, you just need to do this, just need to do that. As soon as chat starts trying to backseat art direct me on this, I know like I'm in a bad fucking situation.
Backseating Pete.
Yeah, it's just like I normally don't get a lot of like backseating on like Twitch chat, and today it's like I'm getting a decent amount, and it's like it's because people want to help. They're like, we see you're having a hard time.
Yeah.
We tell you're struggling, and I've been looking at that shape of that lip for the past half an hour, and I just want you to know it's supposed to curve a little bit in a different way.
Yes. Yeah, we're all here to help.
And I'm like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Intrusive thoughts.
how about everybody takes a beat and then shuts the fuck up, okay? Like I'm not asking for help. I'm the only one here with a paintbrush in their hand. I'm sure you got your own, do your own fucking studies at home. I'm over here dying, all right? It's fine. It's fine. We're all doing fine. This is like my goddamn kangaroo.
It's like, no, when doing studies again, it's not like getting it like look good. Just you're.
I just need to draw it like the one on the left.
You're experiencing something out.
Yeah, let's just draw it like the one on the left.
The lighting over there, like that's actually like could somewhat like push her lips like thicken out. But man, this is like the trick of the light.
One day we must all face our Proco kangaroo.
Yeah.
Kangaroo art.
I swear I'm gonna get invited to like do like a live stream or something on the Proco channel one day, and I'd be like, oh my, everyone's so excited to see your demo because they've just been loving the like studies you've been doing, and I'm like, oh, you know, I used to be pretty bad at them, but now I feel like very comfortable, and it's just gonna, and I'm gonna do one of these, and I'll be like, it's okay, you know, yeah, everybody's got a kangaroo day, right, Proco? And yeah, and that's gonna be the last time he's ever gonna talk to me.
It's like it's over. It's over, gamer.
The laughter isn't of the drawing. Okay, actually, it looks much better than it did.
Just in a
in the
weekend mood. Well, okay, listen. This last weekend, I decided I was just like, I was hungry to do some studies, and I bopped in and did some of my favorite studies of like all the studies I've ever done. I was like, I did some of my very favorite studies ever, and I was like, damn, you know what? Not only am I doing studies all the time, but I'm doing studies on my off days because I love them, and now that I'm good at them, oh my god, this is so fun. And then like, so it's like, I don't know what it is. What, did I eat something fucked up for breakfast? What made me get like years worse at painting? What like reversed my ability to paint by like 10 years?
I mean, it just happens.
Is it nutrition? Is it like?
It's what you eat.
Yeah, and like most of the time I've spent is just on the face. Like, look at this. It's like the rendering layer is like fully opaque. When I did a demo the other day, I went through the face in like about 5 minutes. I was like, okay, well here's the rough thing, and then here I'm just gonna add some details and pow, cause zap. Look at this, I've got it. It's like fully done. So easy. And then here I am on this. Is it if everybody else has like does this on the dailies and they have an easy time with it, I'm gonna feel like it's a mystery now. But like if everybody tries this and everybody sucks at it, I'm gonna be feeling a lot better.
Validation.
My money's actually on it being partly.
Do you think it's?
painting.
Do you think it's hard? Do you think this is just a hard one? Is this actually just a really hard one?
I mean, I would struggle with it. I used to do like black and white portrait studies all the time, and like the hardest ones were ones like this, where it's just like a weird angle, weird lens, and like the lighting is like subtle.
You know what the thing that's also throwing me off about it is, like, so I was like, oh, I want to do the darker background instead of the lighter one. The figure is so silhouetted in here, like the values are actually like it perceptually, like I don't know if they're actually like right on, but like it looks she's way more in shadow she looks like she's way more in shadow in mine, because it's like a lighter face on a darker background as opposed to a dark face on a light background.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a decision that's gonna make it harder too. It's like really hard lighting, and also you're trying to like.
I'm trying to do the lighting like basically backwards, which is, I think that might be the number one thing that's throwing me on this. I think my choice of like not having a background that I had like a clear decision on, like set me at a disadvantage that just continues to like weigh on this whole thing.
So like you're struggling with like kind of imagining like where the light source goes, and then like, there's also like the formation, like the face.
Yeah.
So it's like one where your eyes are like looking at the real like reference, and like your other brain, your creative side is like, no, what if you're doing this and that. They're like fighting each other.
Because like the explanation of I've been cursed by a bog witch seems pretty plausible, but I honestly think it's got to be a process thing. It's got to be a process thing. Like it's got to be some choice that I've made, some controllable factor. Because I know like a lot about art's emotional labor and everything, but like this is so far off from where it needs to be that like it's got to be a process thing that's getting me here, because this is too much. It's too off.
Temple said you're just being hard on yourself. You're doing great.
No, it's actually good. Is what they're saying. They're gonna take a look at it, and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you should just post that. Everyone's gonna actually compliment you because they're gonna think it looks really good, and not that they're stifling laughter when you zoom out. That's not a thing that happened. My wife's here. Oh, we can hear you when you're shouting on the phone in the bedroom, by the way.
In the bedroom?
Yeah.
To be clear, there was like a stage where it looked really funny
I wasn't
when you
shouting
zoomed out.
yet.
It doesn't look like that anymore. It looks a lot better than it did at that point.
It looks better than it did at that point, for sure. Yeah. I'm still alive.
Yeah, I know that.
Struggling over here today.
I'm angry at our health insurance company
Oh.
again.
Health insurance? Messing with people? What?
Yeah, I know. Surprise. But I'm gonna have to pick up Sawyer soon.
Okay.
and then we were supposed to get going.
Yep.
So just wanted to let you know what's going on.
I got plans tonight. I'm going to go to a concert and like be an outdoor person for like a minute.
For once.
For once, yeah. Yeah, we actually have plans to go to dinner and a concert with young people. Because that's what we do. Is actually we do that a lot. This suddenly is looking a lot easier. Just like completely fucking with this background is, to me, starting to feel like there's like daylight.
Yeah.
This is why I just prefer to draw versus write paint.
I had a little drawing. I thought it was pretty close.
Yeah.
Usually getting pretty close is fine, and then I could make the final details like come together.
You know, like I would spend like 90% just like drawing, like trying to get like the form and like the little structure like right, like the way it's portrayed in the reference. And then like yeah, I would spend just more drawing time on it, and then like I'll paint like after like all the structures are like laid out.
Okay.
Just like once you start like painting, like it's just switching and then like blending like the edges and shape and all that.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, yeah. I mean, especially when it's like imaginative, like getting everything in the drawing first makes a tremendous difference. But with the studies, it's like I'm just trying to move on to like the part where I'm doing the study sooner, and it's been pretty productive up until now. Okay.
You have to pace yourself.
So now I'm going to, yeah, I mean, like, I try not to move on unless I'm like really, really ready for it. There. I saw the navigator switch and I was like, oh yeah, that's closer. The whole value thing, like the entire values from like the neck all the way up into the face were off by just enough that like getting it so that the face is now all in shadow, and like the cast shadows coming, I mean the light, the spotlight is happening like all across the chest here, and then the rim light, and that the face is fully in shadow. That's the reason why there's so little detail in it. Okay, I've got a shot at this now. I can see, I fucking light at the end of the tunnel. Oh my god.
Yes, we can go to the counter.
It's always such a relief, isn't it? When you're like struggling on something and then like, oh my god, finally.
Then we're back.
No, I keep wanting to like add some highlight back in across the face or whatever, but it's like it's all ambient light. Her face is being lit entirely by ambient light, and so it's all in shadow. It's all shadow across the whole thing. That's the thing that was getting me. So I keep wanting to like light it like it's got a key light on it, but it doesn't have a key light on it. Never did.
That's interesting because like the whole shadow, it does like give you like kind of vibe that it's like she's actually lit up, but no, it's actually like not the case. It's just like bounce lights from that rim lights that she has at the front front side.
The rim light's the only part that's lit. Everything else is in shadow, and everything else is AO, and like a little bit of light bounce light that's being brought up in post.
Hey Pete, you gonna stick it out for a gesture drawing session?
No, I have to go to do cool stuff outdoors. Like I gotta go to. We got plans to go to a concert tonight, and I gotta go meet
Oh.
people in a few minutes.
What band?
A band called Igor. I have no idea who it is. It's just-
Igor. Yeah, I remember.
Is
yeah.
it like the Frankenstein's minion?
Yes.
Frankenstein. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I got a friend who was just like, "Hey, do you want to go see this band?" And they sent me a link to them, and I didn't look at the link. I was just like, "Yeah," because like I don't. It's not like I'm part of like a local music scene or anything. So whenever a friend says, "Hey, do you want to go see a show?" I just say yes, and then I go out and I have fun with friends, and I've only once regretted it.
Only once.
Only once. It was my birthday last year.
Huh?
They said, "Oh, you want to go to a rave?" I said, "Yeah." And we didn't end up at a rave. We ended up at a it was kind of like a video game music event at a bar where a lot of people were like it was like basically like Autism the Musical, I think is how I'd best describe it. It was like some of the acts at the quote unquote rave were just like a high school horn band playing like Tetris covers. I felt very misled.
What the fuck?
I told her, please keep inviting me out to stuff, but if you ever invite me to another horn band, I am not going to be friends with you anymore. So, yeah. She hit me up recently and was like, "Hey, do you want to go to this band, see this band Igor?" And I was like, "Yeah, whatever, sure, let's do it."
They got a weird music video, that's for sure. Although I guess that's sort of in at the moment. Weird music videos.
All the weird facial structure stuff gets so much simpler as soon as like it's obvious that like the anatomy is kind of getting eaten up by this rim light. Like I thought the ambiguity of it would actually make it harder, but it's actually making it way easier. Still kind of rougher on the rendering side, but like, oh my god, so much better.
Way
I have-
better now.
I have no idea how to like artistically finish this thing off, but give it a little bit of sepia maybe. As I've spent tons and tons of time staring at this thing, the sepia has become more and more obvious to me. Like it doesn't look like it's got a sepia filter on it. It looks like it's a color photo. It's had the color turned down by 90% instead. I spent so much time staring at this photo just now. All right. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to peel out all of the color in the background instead and out of the rim light.
All right.
Okay, and then now I'm in the realm of like just finishing off some tweaks, and I think I got it. Got it close enough where I'm not going to be like embarrassed to post it. This is still just got to be one of the toughest ones I've ever done. You got to run, Min?
Actually, I just need to get some water and kind of run to the art discussion for the gesture drawing.
Yep.
Moment. Yep.
All right, well, have a good one.
Yep. But also, I just finished the designing like one of my big villain character. You know, you remember Strandland, right, Peter? Yep. I got like my writers back into like working. Like he's actually like been busy with like other side projects and real life. He just become a father, right? So finally, he's actually spent some time help me out with the writing and stories. Helped me out a lot with like my ideas and stuff. Just posted this dude in the dailies, and me, like similar to Ash, I just have to like make sure that he looks somewhat close enough to final design.
Looking good.
Then I'll actually go into like the line art and coloring. This is just like sketching stuff, so you can see the paint, the brush strokes, and like wacky as shit. This is not like how I want it to look. Well, actually, this is not like how I want for a final design to look like. But at least this is like close enough. Big villain dude. Yeah. Oh, Huckleberry. Ready to go. Alright, well, I'm gonna hop down there. Get Pete's, get the Owen's like company.
Good. Make sure he's not alone. Make sure he feels like he's.
I gave him a bunch of like Rachel Bradley in the model, like rep posts, to see like what we can cook out. And
right? Yeah, she's kicking around the server somewhere too. I mean.
Oh really?
Yeah, I saw her join recently.
Oh sweet. So I got those from free from a friend that took her photo. So I hope that she's not like actually suing me or anything.
Well, I mean, she might actually be noticing that you're using them. She's on the server.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. That'd be cool though. That way, like, she's having like a lot of like post pack out there. So once I just have like, well, like on her Instagram, she have like, a lot of post pack.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be using her stuff, you should reach out to her and ask if she wants to join one of these weeks.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice, though. Alright, Jazz and everyone else here, everyone joins our discussions where we're doing gesture drawing, though. It should be, like, a short, kind of like half an hour or something like that. We're not doing it, like... Oh, actually, this is the intense one, so yeah, we might be doing it longer. Right?
Alright, have fun.
Advertise done.
See you around.
Yes, you two have fun at the concert, Pete. And so far, great job on the.
We both know that's not true.
I just say it, but like I'm like a little bit.
All right, man. I'll see you around.
Peace out.
Okay, almost there. It's like you can see how much less surface detail there is in the shadow parts, like on like the neck and shoulder compared to like the lit areas. Like that should be the dead giveaway that like it seems so much more obvious now that the face is in shadow when it all connects together like this. So I noticed that the eye was looking a little bit in a different direction, so I'm going to get that cleaned up a little bit. The eye is either catching a ton of light, or it might actually be like a post-processing effect. Like they might be something a photographer is doing to like punch the eye up by just like painting in an adjustment or something. But even if it's an artificial thing, I want to try to preserve it for the study because it looks pretty natural in this photo.
I really have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to painting. I was sure it was like a drawing issue, but like fixing all the lighting stuff helped out a ton.
Yeah, fixing all the light. It felt like a drawing thing because her face looked crazy, but it was like it was that I couldn't seem to no matter how much I pushed the mashed potatoes around the plate, I couldn't seem to get the lighting to feel like it was lit. Like it just didn't feel lit. It just felt like a bunch of like zones of gray values that were all kind of mushy and piled together rather than like coming together to feel like a complete representation of the figure. And like I'm like, that feels weird because that's like the feeling you have when you're like you're first learning how to paint and you're like, I'm definitely missing something because the whole thing feels like a big pile of mush rather than like actually a person. You know, what's the difference? It's got to be all in the details, but it's never in the details. It's never the details that get you. It's always the broad strokes. And so it's like, okay, might be it's the drawing is like a fair enough guess. But I didn't think that the drawing was that far off. I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't that far off.
Yeah, I kind of assumed just because like little drawing issues can like add up to like a big weirdness in a face specifically.
They can.
Yeah.
But it's usually not like a bunch of little things where it's like, oh, the nose is a little high and the eyelid could be a little wider or whatever. Like, those are definitely all things that affect the likeness. And,
Yeah,
like, if you want to reproduce the photo exactly, like, you definitely need to fix all those things. But if you feel like, I don't feel like this is a painting, like, it's just, like, not coming together, and it just is, like, fully it's not creating an effective illusion. Like that, it shouldn't be like a series of minor drawing issues, because you can get it all wrong, and it'll just feel like a different person. It'll still feel like a person. It'll just feel like the wrong person. And sometimes it'll actually accumulate into something that feels vaguely like a style. And that was the thing I was really getting, was like, oh, I'm getting a lot of stuff wrong, but like enough of my style is showing through that the wrongness is starting to feel intentional. And that's why I was like, oh, it'll all be fine, because in the end, even if I get everything wrong, it still feels like I'm making interesting creative choices. It'll be okay. And that's not how it was feeling today.
Came together in the end though. And on the bright side, whenever you're drawing and it feels really bad, you're probably learning something.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like that bad feeling I've always called the learning feeling. The learning feeling is like the sensation that you realize, like, you fucked up. Because, like, if your brain never felt discomfort, you would never improve anything that was like a mental challenge. Because, like, learning is an experience of, like, reward and punishment. Where, like, when you do things right, you feel awesome, and when you do things wrong, you feel bad. And if you avoid ever feeling bad, you will never be able to actually progress in an education.
Yeah. Stupid brain.
And so it's like, you need to be confronted in situations where you experience the learning feeling. But you don't need to, like, some people turn it into a kind of a fetishization of punishment. They're like, oh, you should feel like a piece of shit, or like, you know, we should be. You see it a lot in like critique culture where people are like, oh, tear up my drawing, tear it up and show me, like,
Yeah.
really rip me a new one. And I'm like, yeah, it's not the point. Like, you don't need to have somebody else rip you a new one. What you need is to, like, put yourself in a situation where you're sometimes feeling good and sometimes feeling bad. Like, you should be getting a reward sensation as well from, like, the little wins that you get. But then you also need to get these little punishment sensations from, like, the times when you are kind of, like, off base and you're missing it. It's not working. I'm going to do the smears horizontally for once. Like she's in a wind tunnel. I'm just calling it. I could do better on parts, but it's like I'm so far over time. Oh, I'm just going to, like, fix a couple crusty edges here.
In a wind tunnel. Or she's going really fast. Maybe he's on a motorcycle.
She's going straight, fast, and in nowhere. All right. I've got to run. Oh, and I gotta save my file. And then we have to raid somebody. And I gotta go. This is one of the longest streams I've done. Oh, this is number 69? Oh my god. An auspicious study. Okay. Who do we have as recommendations for the raid? Oh, thank you guys for sticking around to like watch me try to struggle and pull this one out of the dumpster. I thought I saw there were some raid recommendations earlier. Oh wait, we had one earlier, but it was so long ago that I'm worried that. Happy birthday, Xbox. I'm looking back up to see if we have any links for raid recommendations. Anything? All right, I'm gonna go on to twitch.tv and see if anybody who I've been following from past raids are online. We got a few to pick from. I say we hit up Steve's sketches again. All right. See you guys on Monday. Thanks everyone for sticking around. I'll see you on the other side.